Late Night Grin. Also, what does that name mean?
We're back, folks. The Fed 4 rides again. This is my first Friday flagship. And I guess I missed the last, one before last was a Sunday show. Obviously, I missed last week and left you guys in the fearless hands of Novi. But we're here. We're locked in. We're ready to talk about the Survivor Series. We hope everyone had a wonderful Thanksgiving, including my cohorts joining me here live this evening. Survivor Series is our focus, of course. WarGames. 2 WarGames matches, as has become tradition. Some Bloodline business, some CM Punk. It's a lot going on here. Some Shinsuke Nakamura. Much going on, much to discuss. We hope everyone is well on this wonderful Friday night. Bobby Two Shoes, I've heard, I'm no scoopster, but I've heard you're doing very, very well.
Yeah, I'm finally happy again with the Chicago Bears. Finally fired Matt Eberflus after, I think it's 6 straight losses, many of which were in hilarious fashion, including yesterday. It's good. There's hope on the horizon, and hopefully it pays off this time.
Hey, Bob, can I ask you a serious question?
Yeah.
Was you around for the mass releases of 2020 and 2021?
Yeah.
Did you learn nothing about the conduct of celebrating one losing their job? Because this is the Late Night Grim, which, as we know, is a very dignified platform.
Sure.
And I understand that you have strong opinions about this gentleman, who of which I'm not familiar. He's welcome on the show whenever he would like to join us. But it kind of seemed like you were celebrating him losing his job, bro. Are you good?
Yeah, it's different.
It's different because he doesn't work main event.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, that works for me. I'm glad to have you back, Bobby. I sincerely, when Bob went to the StreamYard, I informed him that it had been a long time, and then as the words came out of my mouth, I realized I saw him for about 8 hours on Tuesday and was like, well, I guess it hasn't been that long. Sure, that's a healthy sign as to where my life's at, but nonetheless, we're here, we're ready to go. Bobby's locked in. Bob, before I ask the lads how they're doing, what should, people that are really confident they're going to like this show, is there a way they can kind of show that, like a click they can do to sort of, show support?
Yeah, so what you're going to want to do, you're going to smash the like button.
Wonderful. Thank you, Bob. I love it. Tremendous. The Oracle of Wrestling, how was Thanksgiving? How are you this evening?
Thanksgiving was fantastic. I'm good this evening. Finishing up SmackDown here. I've got it paused as I believe this promo segment with Phil and Joe is about to start. Joe is in Joe, however you say their last name. I always get it wrong.
Anoa?
Yeah, Anoa, yeah.
I wasn't there, right?
No.
Anoa, yeah.
Yeah.
Joe.
Anyway.
Joe and Phil.
Right. Joe and Phil. But I'm great. I'm ready. I'm here. I had a full-on discussion with my oldest brother Dylan, who's in town for the week, and he proceeded to bury the card. Particularly a specific United States Heavyweight Championship bout that was quite appalling to some ears, and to be quite honest, also to mine. So, but otherwise, I'm looking forward to this show. Phil Punk always makes things a little bit more interesting, a little bit more exciting. Hopefully, the razor is run. Hopefully, the poke and twist is performed tomorrow evening.
Wow.
But yeah, I'm here and ready to go.
I like it, Bob. I noticed that you left the screen there as we did real names. would you prefer we maintain kayfabe while you're on the program, or is that
Yeah.
sort of
Yeah, if you don't mind.
all right? All right, I appreciate that because I forget kind of your guideline. I know your contract's extensive, so I'll keep that in mind. Chris, how have you been, brother? How was Thanksgiving?
Thanksgiving was wonderful. My team was able to assist in Bob's happiness today. So glad we could come together on that. But no, Thanksgiving was great. Great time with the family. Yeah, things are good. Pistons are 3-0 in NBA Cup play. Let's go.
Hell yeah.
Wow, there you go. That's a headline. I can imagine saying that to a couple of years ago. I'd be like, my goodness.
No kidding. But yeah, I'm excited to break down this card with all of y'all. And yeah, it's been a minute since I've talked wrestling with anybody. So this is gonna be a good time.
Yeah, it feels like Crown Jewel was this month, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
It was, but it feels like it was like 3 months ago.
Okay, good. Yeah, because I was thinking like it hasn't been since Bad Blood. We did Crown Jewel. Yes, it's strange. I don't know.
It's just for me personally, like this month has just been it's gone by fast, but it also has felt like a million years.
Because
like,
a million things are happening. Yeah,
Kingston had pneumonic for like a week and a half. Like
Jesus.
it's just it's this month.
So you're excited to talk some graps and kind of unwind. I definitely see that. Okay, so we do have much to discuss. I mean, I mentioned a minute ago regarding the Pistons. Imagine telling someone that a couple of years ago. Imagine showing someone the main event match graphic for this show a couple of years ago. I mean, forget CM Punk. Tonga Loa's in there. You know, I mean, there's so much to digest and so much to discuss. But we firstly have some messages from our wonderful grinners, which we're going to go to now. Firstly, I want to shout out Ryan, who is a new member. Thank you very much, Ryan. Welcome to LNG Gold. If you want to join up for LNG Gold, there should be a nice join button there next to the subscription option. And it's a great time to, right, fellas? Because what a big weekend we have. Saturday, of course, tomorrow night, this very show. If you want to see our live reactions to the Survivor Series, we're going to be on the air. I think Brainbuster and I for sure, and maybe just us. I don't know, but we'll see how it goes. Either way, Survivor Series Grin Along live for Grinner Circle members tomorrow. If Grinner Circle membership's a little higher for you, you can be an It Used to Be Better member, the tier below that. And on Sunday, you're going to get yourself an Armageddon 2000 Grin Along, which Bobby will be there for. Bob, that's going to be quite the adventure, right?
Yeah, I don't think I've ever actually seen that show. I've seen the Hell in a Cell match, but I haven't seen everything else, so I'm fired up.
Yeah. Even when I've circled a couple short undercard matches that have 5s on cage match that we feel we're going to be very bullish on, so I'm excited.
I have that. It's not handy. I have that show on VHS actually.
Real physical media.
Real physical media.
If Alex was here, he'd faint. Thank you, Ryan. Hopefully you enjoy LNG Gold as much as some of our wonderful members, such as Cal, who's been a member for 3 months and says on the soul and bloodline of every chatter, Grinner and affiliate, Tiffany Stratton is cashing in tomorrow. 3 months of gold well spent. Oh, how? Okay, let's do this now for Cal. Is this happening? Is Cal right? Because otherwise, we're in a bit of a predicament. Because he said on the soul and bloodline of every chatter, Grinner and affiliate. Bob, what do you think our chances are?
I guess hopefully he's right. Otherwise, yeah, we're all in some trouble. I don't think so, but hopefully a lot on the line.
Yeah. Chris, shaking your head, Chris. This is not a good sign, Cal. Not a good start here. You don't think it's happening, Chris?
No, I don't.
Oracle, any hope? I assume, is he muted? Oh, he's muted. My bad.
I heard you. I was just sorry. I was watching.
I couldn't see that you were muted. I thought you were doing performance art.
So I don't know. This feels like a weird show for her to cash in, right? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
There's too many people around.
But of course it would be them to stop teasing it for a month and then finally do it just out of nowhere. That's
kind of best. Yeah.
Unless I we can talk about it, I guess, when we get to that match. But last year I had the idea of Priest, because Priest was had the briefcase and Seth was the champion, correct?
Yeah.
I had the idea that Seth would be in the match first, and then Judgment Day have the advantage, and Priest come in a 2-on-1 and bring a referee Rhea and cash in on Seth during the War Games. So unless they do something like that, I don't think
It's hard.
it's hard.
Yeah.
There's too many people around. Like both champions are on her team. Like it's just, I just don't think it's going to happen.
The only way I think Oracle, yes.
Well, I mean, we'll get to it here shortly, more specifically, and I'll just say it and then I'll tease it and then we'll talk about it later. But I actually think, and I could be wrong here, but they're doing faces WarGames advantage. I think we might have a turn.
Well, I think there's a lot to be said.
End up being, short-handed and whatnot.
As far as the cash in, I think doing it within the match is really hard because it's going to be the biggest pop, right? So it's very difficult. I think maybe you could do something after the team has lost, where it's like everyone's leaving and then Tiffany kind of stops and locks the door. You know, that kind of vibe. It's hard to do with Nia though, because like you could do it with Liv, I guess. I don't know. It would be very delicate agenting for sure, because otherwise you're going to lose one of the reactions. Certainly feels like, that SmackDown division. I don't even know what the long-term direction is there. But I do know there'll be one Grinner always involved in the LNG long-term direction. He is, of course, a Hall of Famer. And a founding father, Jack Crosby, in the building. How are you tonight, Jackie? Is he speaking? Can you hear him? I can't hear him. Is this happening again when we can't hear Jack? Folks, Jack is here. I promise he's here. For those of you just listening, he is here.
He wasn't muted at first. Now he is.
Now he's muted. Okay, Bob, you're in charge of this. Please figure out Jack's.
Are we good now?
Yes, we are.
Yeah.
Now I have to fucking call CBS and figure out why this isn't working.
We've all been there. We had a moment the other day on LNG Gold, Jack, as you can confirm, where Penny joined us for the first time, made her LNG debut, and honestly looked as enthused as Bob does 3 hours into a Grin grapple potion.
I was
just
surprised.
stared back at us.
I was surprised you didn't clip it, because Allie asked me if she could have a clip of it. I said, yeah, I think Joe will clip it.
I will absolutely clip it. I just didn't want to do it without. I was going to ask you because,
yeah.
But I absolutely will clip it because it's very funny.
God, it was so perfect.
Yes.
And then after I shut the computer, she goes, "Those your friends?"
She was so disappointed in you that those were your friends.
No, it was more shoot than you.
Yeah, fair. How was Thanksgiving, Jack?
Oh, it was great. It was great.
Good. Wonderful. I'm glad to have you on, Jackie. As always, the Fed 4 becomes Fed 5. What else we got here in the chat? Jake, been a member for 3 months. Again, thank you very much, Jake. Hope you've enjoyed LNG Gold thus far, and says, another pay-per-view cycle down, and there are yet more converts to the Church of Solo. Church of Solo is incredible. Shame they weren't there on the ground floor, and the bus has long taken off about it. Now, Chris, you and I have... Bob's left again in fear. Chris, you and I have... we're right at the front here on this.
We've been alone on Solo Island, and we're finally getting some more inhabitants.
Yep. Us two, Jake and Tape, have been looking at there's great views. No one... It's been a very nice ride, but we are starting to get more people on board. As Jake says, there's no real vacancies left. But I do have to ask, Jack Crosby, are you in on this Solo Sikoa revolution that's taking place?
I like that they've given him more personality, let him be himself a little bit more. So I guess I'm all right with it. Now, full disclaimer for everyone, I don't have time to watch.
Yeah, you're just hanging out, right?
TV. I don't. Yeah. I'm just hanging out. But I do watch all the Twitter clips, which they basically post the whole fucking shows on there.
Exactly. So, that's the trick.
No, it seems like that since they let him loose a little bit, he seems all right.
I would agree. Also, like this a lot. Oracle, are you on board with the Solo Sikoa revolution taking place?
Solo's he kind of reminds me of one of those heels that you would see on the indies who kind of suck, but they pop you, you know.
What the
could,
fuck
you know.
is?
It's just unnecessary, right?
Holy Christ!
But he pops me.
All right.
Hey, that cage match though.
Oh, outstanding.
Yeah.
Now, Bob,
They're
I noticed,
advertising the rematch, the Cody Solo rematch in a cage for the Detroit Holiday Tour show. I'm very close to
you're gonna have to move quick, dude. That's gonna sell out and then some. You're standing room only. Bob, you stepped away again there as some real shit was being said. What's up?
Oh, nothing. Just gotta pick my spots.
So, what an incredible answer! So where are you at on the Solo Sikoa Revolution? The Church of Solo.
I think he's been pretty good. Like I liked the Cody match a couple months ago. I thought he was good in the opener Crown Jewel. He's there, man, and I was never as down on him as a lot of people were. I always thought he was fine. Like everyone, he probably shouldn't have been like a main event singles guy, but also he's fine.
I think he's a guy we'll look back on saying he got put in a really, really tough spot and came out of it great.
Mm-hmm.
I do think because he got that big push, people underestimate how hard that job was, and I think there's a lot of truth to what you said. That was really difficult.
Like they had
TV time.
They had the Roman, Jimmy, and Jay thing going, and then not only do they introduce Solo from NXT, but it's like, but he's the baddest motherfucker on the planet that's protecting Roman, and it's like, well, Jesus Christ.
Yeah,
I think if they would have had him take over closer to the time that he beat Cena, I don't think it would have been such a hard time getting it off the ground. But he beat beat Cena, and then they did nothing with him for 6 months.
Yeah,
and then all of a sudden he's head guy in charge of the Bloodline. All of a sudden, it's like, what?
I have to say, I think that may be the definitive Bob O'Neill quote right there. He's there, man. That was his Solo Sikoa. He's there, man.
And does it get any better? Mind you, that was about 47 seconds after he said, "Yeah, I'm just here to pick my spots."
That was unbelievable. Yeah, that was even better in some ways. Bobby's in rare form tonight, hitting the high spots. Thank you very much, Jake. We hope you've enjoyed Gold thus far. Ebu has sent a super chat. My God, real money. He says, I forgot he's got the big bucks now. I should have remembered. My bad. All right. He probably can write this off. He says, Bron Breakker getting a Wrestling Observer newsletter 4 3/4 and a JHP 4 this weekend. Shout out to Backstage Demon CM Punk. Firstly, all of this is heinous. 4 is way too high for a triple threat. I would never do that. It's against my rules. 4 3/4 from Dave, I actually think, I don't know, maybe. Bob, have you followed The Observer recently?
I haven't. I didn't read today. I usually read it when I'm at work on Friday, but I didn't work today, so.
Wait, do you sincerely read The Observer still? This is
that's the same thing.
I do. I read it every week. Yeah.
That's awesome. Wait, I didn't know this. You've been friends with. How long have we been friends, Bob? 5 years?
Yeah, quite some time. Yeah, I read it every week, every Friday.
Quite some time.
What?
I swear, I never ever knew you read The Observer. I'm not saying this is a knock. Shout out to The Observer.
I love it. Love it.
Yeah. Do you get the PWI 500 too? How far does this go?
No, it's just The Observer.
All right. Awesome. Okay. Well, when you read, can you start working this into content? I thought we could do something with this.
Yeah, for sure.
When you read it, can you a post? You don't have to say what is it. You just say read The Observer. Boom. Post.
Yeah. You got it. I'll do that next week.
All right. We'll get into the Bron Breakker match. Ebu, of course, here using this opportunity to get his propaganda off as per usual. Does certainly seem like CM Punk has been up to no good in the month since we last discussed him. But thank you, Ebu, for the super chat. Lord Lambo, member for 3 months. Thank you very much, brother. I hope you've enjoyed the grins. He says, may each of you try to do your best impression of Regal yelling WarGames, which I guess is my impression. 3 months of LNG Gold has been worth every penny. Bob's took a big sip of water. Is anyone confident on their Regal? Because if not, it's a tough Regal. He says it in a very fluid fashion, doesn't he? I don't know. Anyone got a good regal here for Lord Lambo? Shakes the head. No one's rushing here. All right.
WarGames. I don't know.
That's the best we got, Lambo. Oracle and I played a brief rendition for you. Has he done it since he came back? He hasn't, right?
No.
Oh, well, that's a shame. Adam Pearce did it last year, didn't he?
Yeah.
Has anyone done it this year?
No.
I think Rhea did.
No. Oh yeah, Rhea.
No,
Yeah.
No, that doesn't count. Though.
That doesn't count.
no,
Yeah.
That's the authority figure.
Has WarGames gone woke? Is that what we're saying, Bob? What do you think?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Interesting. Sorry, Lamb. We're not doing it, and nor do they anymore. So you've only really lost on all counts here. And you've been a member of LNG Gold for 3 months. It's a rough time. I send you love, man. Home Thanksgiving was good. All right. Mid Take's been a member for 3 months and says, TEW commentary team of Roddy Piper and Mike Tenay. Asked Funk if he wanted to retire from in-ring, and he said no, and signed to Pro Wrestling Noah. I was telling the lads before we went, I think I know this was my bad. This was over on the Discord. You can join the LNG Discord, I guess. I know they're still accepting. I was telling them about the new TEW game. It's got deeply perverse, fellas. You can do bulk tapings now. So you can tape like 8 weeks of TV or something in this. It's like, because it's like logistics, like you can save money. It's now like a full-time job. It's there's a lot going on. Machine Gun Carl Anderson has some interesting attributes that I do not co-sign, but nonetheless, you can watch Matt and I play TEW every Tuesday night. If you're a Grin Circle member, we're booking World Championship Wrestling. Thus far, we've done 2 episodes. Both have gone 3 hours because, of course. But yeah, there you go. Shout out to Terry Funk signing with Noah there in 2001. Andrew, member for 3 months, says, "Fly, Eagles, fly."
Oh no!
On the road. Oh, Jesus.
Sorry.
Is this like a song or something?
Yeah.
Is it like an actual song, or can I just read it? I don't
No.
know.
Yeah, they sing it after they score.
My wife sings it every day.
I'm sure you're thrilled to sit here on the Grin then. How are the Eagles doing this year, fellas?
Oh,
Very good.
No,
Very,
don't
very
talk to me about that. Saquon is an MVP candidate, though. So
Yeah, they've been good. They might win the NFC. Sorry, Chris.
Yeah. It's scary. They won't lose, so we got to keep winning, and all our defenders keep dying, so it's not ideal.
This all sounds very severe. This. I thought it was just a friendly message from Andrew. Thank you, Andrew. Nonetheless, we hope you enjoyed LNG Gold. Ryan sent a super chat and says Priest did try cash in last year during WarGames before the, in Sammy's words, Golden God Randy Orton returned.
Oh, yeah.
That is true. Yeah, I loved WarGames last year. It's the most enjoyable.
I know I like to stir up shit.
No.
We talk about this fucking Osprey Orton thing.
Oh, no. Okay, we can, and I want to hear your opinion on it. I will be.
It is. I love Will Ospreay. I fucking love Will Ospreay. He is amazing. He is not Randy Orton. Stop it. Stop.
I'm going to now open this to the floor and see if anyone would like to combat this, discuss this. If not, we'll just simply leave it at Jackie's leading statement. Bob looks very aggressive. Jack, you're looking at Bob's face.
It was bugging me.
I know, I get it.
Stop it. I don't care if it's some kind of Twitter engagement thing, like with the blue checks. Stop.
Bob, why did you tweet it?
Love of the game.
Do you remember when we did the Grin like 2 years ago, Jack, and we had to defend Will Ospreay because Bob and Matt kept laughing about the way he spoke?
Yes.
Do you remember that?
I loved Will Ospreay for a long time, and I'm so happy for him. And he is he's so great. But the shit, he's better than Randy. It's breaking my brain.
The Confirmed Shoot was very mean about Will Ospreay, and now he's like his favorite wrestler.
Yeah.
We should bring that up more. Next time we talk to Matt, you should hit him with the Bockwinkel thing, and I'll hit him with the Osprey thing. We'll do it at the same time.
Yeah.
Really jump him, you know? All right, we'll figure this out. Okay, what else have we got here? Thank you for that, Ryan. I don't think we answered Ryan. Did we even say anything? Hello, Ryan. Thank you for the super chat. I do remember this. I do not know. When did Sami say Golden God Randy Orton? Was that on a recent thing?
They released a video of the most of the competitors from last year's match, rewatching last year's match. I haven't watched it yet. No, I've seen McDonough, Balor, and Dom are all three together. And then it seems like Priest and Sami and maybe Jay are all together, and I think they just go back and forth. Well, it's not everyone all together. It's
they cut
separated. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, I haven't watched it yet, but I've been meaning to because I really like those videos.
I will say the new Kevin Nash one is terrific. If you haven't seen it, folks, WWE Vault uploaded a thing where Kev watched some of his greatest moments, and he's in full Kev mode. The very sort of just cavalier, he's just talking graps. It's awesome. So check that out.
The shit, I'm telling you.
It's so great. And WWE Vault is a fascinating project. That Survivor Series video they uploaded that was just stuff they have hanging around, just random shit they've just never used.
Mm-hmm.
Fascinating. Thank you, Ryan, for the super chat. Plethora sent a super chat and says, Card stinks. It has Bloodline WarGames. The build to women's war games has been awful. Rhea Liv feud has to end for the love of God. Plethora, not too excited about this. We're going to get into our temperature check in a minute, but we appreciate getting yours in early. Plethora, I hope you're well. You are correct. Bloodline War Games, the lead attraction. It kind of feels to me, I'm sorry to say it, but I think the rest of this show is kind of just it's the Bloodlines show. They've kind of just sort of.
Yeah.
No, we've got Saturday night's main event. We'll put some stuff on that. We'll do some stuff on Netflix. This will be the Bloodline show. And that is a fascinating choice. And I think could go in many different directions. We shall see. But yeah, interesting. Jack, what you going to say, mate?
Hold on. I was going to say, but I think we're all we'll get to it. But if Dwayne is in the back pocket, what else do you need?
That's the issue. What? Yeah. They're so hot too. They can do this stuff also. No
one's gonna say the rest of the show sucked because ESPN's gonna tweet out The Rock is back and everything.
It's
doesn't matter.
They're in an interesting era in that regard, and they can be. It's dangerous, right? Because you can quickly get complacent because you're just you can't help but win almost the way how hot they are right now.
Yeah.
I think it will eventually, when they do slow down, I think they're going to have to adjust to that because they've definitely got into a mode.
They're going to slow down. That's what people have to realize. This is going to slow down. It's it's the same thing I tell AEW people. It's going to rise again. And WWE is going to slow down.
The way the game goes, yeah.
Yeah.
I agree. And when it does, it'll be fascinating what changes because I don't think then you can do the 5-match sort of... the shows they've been doing. We'll see. I mean, it's going to be very interesting. We're at the very early days still.
How many matches are on this card? 5.
Yeah. Which I guess in this case, at least, there's war games, which they do. Their war games are long, right? So I get it. Plethora is not too keen on the card. We'll see how everyone else feels here in a moment. But before we do, Jumanji Hunter has been a member for 3 months and says, LNG Gold temperature check. Steaming hot, 3 months of great content. You love to hear it. Houses are up. We've got ourselves a YouTube bonus payoff. We're doing great. It's good times in the land of the Grin.
I haven't gotten paid yet.
Jack Crosby will never see any of that money because he's a founding father who does this for charity. But we appreciate you very, very much. Jumanji Hunter, thank you for your support. Grant says, glad to have the originals back. The newbies were bringing a confrontational energy like they're on Wrestle Purist or something, not the game we love.
Yeah,
I did notice.
Colby and Caden, they're fucking. I've been with them. They're hostile little fuckers.
They are. They just attack.
Calm the fuck down.
Yeah. The other night, we've told this story behind the pole, but I'll do it. So We did a show on Sunday. It was a WCW Mayhem Grin Along, which is an awful show. Mayhem's awful.
That's outstanding that y'all did
And
that. I think it's so funny.
in the middle of the show, they announced they were going to do the brackets for the Continental Classic, but it was going to be half an hour after we were done. So you got to realize, right? Even we've been doing commentary for this awful show. We've been talking the whole time. Then we have half an hour to kill to wait for these brackets. Now, look, I'm not trying to be a dick. We know most of the people in the bracket, right? Obviously, because they leak this stuff. AEW and, you know. And we're sitting there and we are finished. We got no energy left. And Caden begins to yell at us. Where are the semifinals? Are there semifinals? When are the semifinals happening? And even when I just dead silent, I'm like this. And at some point I just go, please, dude, please calm down, please.
These kids.
It's so aggressive. So aggressive. He just like jumped us with semi-final rage. And we were like, dude, we've just got through Mayhem. Can you just calm down and look at the Carl Fletcher graphic for a minute?
Just got the Medusa versus Evan Courageous. Give me a sec.
And then this, which is one of the greatest things ever on LNG Gold, Ibu doing a half pretending I care about this was outrageous, by the way. Forced even more effort out of me as I began to do bracketology and break down what I saw in front of me. And it was just what a shift that was. I was like Broadway in a cold house. It was brutal. Well, thank you very much, Grin. I agree. Too much wrestling talk on this platform recently makes me uncomfortable. Mid takes, Jack, can you give me hope that Sam Pittman is fired next season? I can't take this much longer.
Someone paid to ask me this question.
Yes.
All right. Number one, mid takes as politely as I can. Try not to hijack Joe's show with college football questions.
I've been saying that for years.
I come here to get away from it. Because this is my life 24/7. This is like my escape. But I will answer your question. It's not looking good because no team can afford to fire their head coach right now. There's not any Power 4 openings at the moment, except North Carolina because Mac Brown retired. Other than that, they cannot fire these coaches because number one, is too close to the transfer portal, too close to signing day, and it's too close to the house settlement where they're going to have to pay these players. In turn, the schools are going to have to figure out how to pay these buyouts. So as far as Sam Pittman has not had a bad year per se. He's getting hip surgery this offseason. He's an old guy. So unless something happens there where he retires, maybe, but as far as fired, I don't see it happening.
Wow. So not only did he send the super chat, he didn't even get good news. Wow. All right. Thank you, Mint Takes. But Jack was great broadcast journalism. I love it. Okay. Andy, been a member for 3 months. Appreciate you. Hope you enjoyed Gold. And says, Punk Drew seems to be the consensus feud of the year, but Cody KO should win pending the blow-off. Best story of 2024, lots of depth and great characterization. So, story-wise, I actually do think there's a lot to be said for Cody and Kevin. The issue, obviously, is we've seen the blow-off of Punk Drew, and it was pretty damn special. So then it becomes, how high does that Saturday night's main event match climb? We'll talk about this here because we're not going to be talking about it isn't on the show. Oracle, I'll start with you. What have you made of KO and Cody? And then if you can, like, within this kind of feud of the year context, if they have a great match Saturday's main event, could they be the feud of the year? What do you think?
Perhaps. I think that because of the timing and the content of Cody and KO, I think it has a better chance of being better if that match is great, particularly if Kevin wins.
Yeah,
I think it might beat out Punk and Drew. Punk and Drew, I doubt will be jumped ahead of as far as match of the year is concerned. But that feud also had a very big problem with repetition in the summer. And we were all kind of impatiently waiting for the other shoe to drop. in terms of going to that next level and the match getting announced, the first match and whatnot. So it was, there was some shakiness to that program, and it went like 10 months long, and which is fine, but it took 9 months to get to the first match. So
right, it's tough. Yeah.
I think in terms of the timing and even the content with Cody and KO, I think it's a little bit better. But Kevin and Cody have to have a not just a great match, but like a really great match. And I think Kevin kind of needs to win in order to solidify the feud. Even though if he wins, I'm not so certain that'll be the end of it. But
no, I'm not either.
But still, I think it would have. I definitely think it's the other program within the Fed that would be considered a contender for Feud of the Year.
Yeah, I worry about the ads on this Saturday night's main event deal. Like, if Cody and Kevin's a long match, they could have like 2 or 3 ad breaks, which could be an issue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We shall see. Chris, how do you feel about this topic? The idea that Cody and KO can kind of swoop in and steal Feud of the Year.
I think it just depends on how much recency bias people let creep in. If the Saturday's main event match is what it can be, will people think about that? Because again, as we talked about earlier, if Crown Jewel feels like it's been months already, Bad Blood feels like it's been years. So. But I think if people are really thinking about it, I don't think there's anything that has been better than Punk and Drew this year. So
yeah, that blow off's hard to top. That was with the blood. So chat's saying it's simulcast on Peacock. I wonder if the ads. I wonder. That'll be interesting if you guys will get ads on Peacock or not. I wonder. I'm not sure. I have no idea. We shall see.
I would imagine because they show ads during the football games, right? Because they simulcast Sunday Night Football.
Yeah, so. I feel like when they go to break, it would just go to break across the board. To be honest, I could be wrong.
Because
hopefully
what they'll do is on Peacock. If you have the if you do like Peacock Plus, they'll just show you like a 10-minute Bianca Belair video or whatever.
Yeah.
Whereas like if it's if you're watching on NBC, you'll just get like local news ads and shit. So I mean,
yeah. Yep, interesting. Bobby, anything on this, mate? Feud of the Year discussion?
No, I think Oracle really laid it out nicely. Like, I think it's going to be hard to beat the Hell in a Cell for Punk Drew, but I have liked a lot of this feud so far. I'm with you guys, though, because it's probably going to go, I think, at least till the Rumble. So it's like, it's kind of hard to put it just as 2024, better than Drew and Punk, just because there's still going to be more to it. But at the same time, I think if Owens wins the title, which he should, that's going to maybe push it over the top for some people as well.
Yeah, that's the finish, I think, is a really good point, and we've all kind of highlighted that. Jack, anything on this, mate?
I agree with Bob, and Bob and I have talked about this personally. Like Punk Drew, but if Kevin wins the title like he should on NBC, then I would give that the nod.
Yeah, that'd be a big moment, definitely. That would be huge. A few more things here. Thank you to the chat, by the way. Very, very kind this evening. Harv is a new member. Welcome to LNG Gold. Harv also said, semi back to watching wrestling again. Sorry to hear that. Hurt Syndicate forever. You already know what a real runs over there on Dynamite, the one corner of the show that we live in as professional wrestling fans. And shout out to MVP and things of that nature. Thank you, Harv. Welcome to LNG Gold. I wonder, I don't want to mess this name. Do you think this is one name or should I split this somewhere? Jake, you're a professional. What do you think? You think it's Semaginus or Sema? Do you think is there a split? You see what I'm saying? Jack's a professional. What do you reckon, Jack? That's why I'm glad you're here.
Semaginus.
Send a super chat. Followed up with this. I'm pretty sure this is the message they wanted to send, so I'll read this. TNA take, Bob, lock in. I know the Riddle stuff's a horrid decision, damn right. My take, though, selling out 3K arenas multiple times this year is a net positive, net W, I should say, and outweighs the negatives caused by booking, especially with the handful of bangers had, like Osprey Alexander, Masha, Jordan. TNA has been a fascinating story this year, right? Scott
Right?
D'Amore.
Right?
Osprey. What, fascinating? Yes. So I thought you said Osprey. I thought we were talking about Randy Orton again. Osprey, yes. It's been, no, I'm with you.
No, it has been.
Yeah, because they fired D'Amore right after the reboot. And quietly, to this chat's point, and again, we hope we didn't butcher your name, they actually have done pretty good business. The best business they've done in years. But there is this sense, Jack, and I'm sure you felt the same way, there's this sense there's like a cloud looming, and it's getting bigger
Yeah,
and bigger.
Something's up. When I saw the Riddle stuff tonight, I was like, what is this place? Like, what are you doing? Like, what are you doing? Like, what are you?
It's fascinating because, you know, Jordan Grace, I don't think I'm talking out of turn to say, it appears that she's headed elsewhere.
Right? And they have this relationship with WWE or whatever, but then you bring in Matt Riddle. Like, I get, like, you technically can do whatever you want.
Right.
But then you bring in Matt Riddle. Like, I don't get it.
It's bad. It's the kind of story they just don't need right now, right? I don't follow the product closely. I watched a full episode a couple weeks ago and reviewed it in full on Gold. And the Joe Hendry thing is fascinating because it feels like they should just put the belt on him when he was like red hot. And it's classic TNA. They're probably going to wait too long on that, right?
No, I mean,
I don't think they're going to do it at all because I don't think it was ever in their plans, and they're pretty stuck in their ways when it comes to.
They know he's WWE bound, right?
Yeah, but there's a people are split on when his deal was up.
Yeah, I think he's got more, a little bit more time than like Jordan does.
Because I said when he didn't win the belt, I was like, well, obviously he's going to WWE, and someone told me he's got a year on his deal, and I was like, a year? Yeah, so it's weird. I don't know.
Well, if that's the case, then yeah, why wouldn't you slap the title on him and try to get some buzz for your company before he does leave?
And what is the JBL? What's that?
I don't know, but I fucking love it. I'm sorry.
They have to be getting a match out of it, right? At this point, like John's wrestling. I think he's going to work with. I think he's going to work with Nemeth. Honestly, I think the idea is going to be he's been protecting Nemeth because he wants to be the one that beats him. Because if you think about it from JBL's point of view, who would he pick to wrestle? It would be Nemeth, right? Because, like, of course it would be.
Yeah, because he'd carry him.
Yeah, and we'd watch that, Jack. So,
if JBL becomes TNA champion,
we'll be there. We will be there.
That's Grin along type shit.
It is, yeah. So they're an interesting company. They always have been. TNA it's never normal with TNA. I worry about them beyond, like, when Jordan leaves, presuming she does, when Josh Alexander, again, presuming he does, leaves, I do worry about where the talent comes from. Because the thing is, this isn't, the Vince WWE where he was regularly releasing, like, heavy hitters. That isn't happening anymore.
Well,
right?
Probably, I think what you'll see start to happen, just spitballing here, is that some of these people in the ID program are going to get funneled to TNA.
I think that would be a very, very safe bet. Yeah, I would agree.
That's what I think will happen.
By the way, this is very funny. Bro, I'm sorry, it's James Shane. I made it when I was 8. It was just James. Bro, it was just James the whole time. We were sitting in sweating bullets. Didn't want to ruin his name. Bless.
Joe calls me and he's like, professional editor, can you please try to decipher this?
I wanted to get your read on it, dude. Ebru says, New Day 10th anniversary Raw predictions. This has been a big story on Raw recently. Bob, where do you think they're going here with the big angle coming up on Raw?
Yeah, I hope it's as simple as, Big E comes back and kind of keeps them together. I don't really want to see them split up. I think Big E's going to be there. I don't see how you could do it without him. I've actually grown to really enjoy the story. I don't want to see them split up. Dude,
if Big E... Look, I don't know anything about Big E's situation. If he rallies the troops and cuts the kind of promo that we know he can cut and galvanizes that squad, that could be an incredible moment. Like, seriously. Yeah, I'm not sure. Chris, anything on the New Day situation? Been a very strong angle from what I've seen.
Yeah, I don't think they're breaking up. I think eventually, whether it's by Big E talking some sense, I think basically Kofi's going to come around to Woods' way of of seeing things, and I think we get a heel New Day run that we haven't had in nearly 10 years.
So they become like a more ruthless New Day, but they
Yeah.
stay together. That would be interesting. Very, very interesting. Oracle, anything on this?
I think one thing I could see is that this might not be a route everybody likes, but Kofi and Woods have a match, and then they just sort it out after that.
Mm-hmm.
Like Big E, like being involved in some way.
Mm-hmm. Like they fight out like brothers. Yeah.
Yeah. Which if they do it right, it could be awesome. But you also have to be careful with that because
I would like that. Big E telling both of them, get it out of your system.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Get in the ring, get it out, and let's move on.
Pretty cool. I like it. Either way, it's very obvious they've got a lot of creative control over it. And
and for what it's worth, Woods should win that match.
Xavier Woods is legitimately one of the most like underrated talents in wrestling of this era. And he's so capable. And I think people are only just seeing with this program how dynamic and versatile he can be, you know? Like he's so good, dude.
He's a guy that, like I said before, like these clickbait accounts or the blue checks or whatever you want to call them, like they would put up something like, is Xavier Woods a WWE Hall of Famer? Yes, he is. Him on his own? Yes, he is.
He's awesome.
But you'd have people go, no, without the New Day. It's like, no. Woods is a Hall of Famer.
Dude, he's basically booking this angle. I think everyone's like, of the belief that's the case. And he's just very, very creative, dude. Very talented guy, can talk, can have good matches. Yeah. I've always thought he was like the actual most talented member of the group, which is hilarious because he's not the champ. Like Big E's the star, right? Because Big E's with his personality. But in terms of just promo and work, I've always thought Woods was like the guy in that group. And Kofi's a legend.
For years to bring King of the Ring back.
That was awesome too. Yeah. What an incredible run. Putting aside predictions, 10 years, like what an incredible run that group's had, dude. I'm apparently on an island with this. I don't rank them as an all-time great tag team because to me, the team always change. I do think though they're an all-time great faction, and I think it's kind of weird they never get talked about in that category. Like,
and they probably never will. And it sucks.
But people, I don't get it because just
probably
quickly,
because as a group together, like how many main event angles have they had?
Exactly. Yeah, they would wait until they kind of splintered off, and like the Kofi thing, obviously, other than that, that's it. That's the only one. And even when Kofi won the belt, they kind of separated them. Not really, but you get what I mean. And it's weird. Like the reason I don't think of them as a team is because the tag team would change match to match. Like if you watch the Usos feud back, they literally would switch.
Yeah,
who was in the match? So. I don't know. To me, the Shield's always brought up, right? Like, why can't they be brought up? That's just my personal stance on the matter. But nonetheless, I digress. Mid take, super chat. Punk or Zayn should blade tomorrow. In fact, everyone should except Tonga. Everyone should. I don't think Punk will because he played in his last match.
Sami Zayn blade and Roman Reigns coming to save him would be an awesome visual. Like Sami
would be cool.
Like shit kicked out of him, where he's just fucking gushing, and Roman coming to save him. That'd be pretty cool.
That would be awesome, and Sami would be the guy because Sami should start the match, which we'll do later. We'll do our orders and stuff, but Sami should start the match for Bloodline, right? He's the worker on the team. Like, have him start, then get the Usos in, and then you do Punk and Roman as the last two, I think. Very interesting. Kartik says, is Swerve and Hanger in the running for Feud of the Year? The Revolution stuff was mid, and the cage match okay. They were Feud of the Year for 2023, of course. I do think a lot of 2023 is bleeding over for people. A lot of folks loved the cage match. I liked it. I did not like the Revolution stuff for a range of reasons, which we discussed at the time. The house segment was memorable. I just think a lot of it was, to me, a lot of the stuff's 2023. Like, I don't think a lot of it's been this year. So for me, it isn't. But if you really love the cage match, I can see how it would be. So that's where I'd be at on that. Thank you, Kartik, for the super chat. Final one here, and then we'll preview Survivor Series at 50 minutes. But look, Usually we just kill time by being dipshits, but in this case, what a great response from the Grinners here tonight. Thanks very much, folks. We appreciate it immensely. And Bob, what else can they do to support this show without it? Doesn't even need to be a super chat. They can do something else, right?
Smash that like button.
I love it. Ryan says, sorry, I got rid of it. Woman, Woods versus Kofi. Big E is the special guest referee of Saturday night's main event. Dude, that is so Saturday night's main event.
That's good. I like that.
That's like, yes, I'm all in on this, right? That's so WWF Saturday night's main event. Absolutely. I like. And Big E, I think.
I love everything they've done with Saturday night's main event. I like the promo they put out with the old school music with Cody and Kevin. The only thing is, like, really going to be, and I'm an old guy. I remember the original Saturday night's main events. Cody and Kevin has to go on first.
Yes.
It's got to go on.
Well,
yes. That's pretty beast.
No, I get it, Chris. I know what you're going to say. Like, Hogan went on because it was 11:30 in place of Saturday Night Live. I don't care.
It's still
the
kind of based.
Saturday night main event. Cody and Kevin just go.
No, I agree. I very rarely are like, if things aren't the exact way I want them, I'm upset. But I want the show kicking off with a bunch of 10-second promos backstage from everybody just talking to the camera. I want the everyone to have their own logos on the screen.
That's important. Yeah.
I want red, white, and blue ropes. I want a simple entrance with just you could even do the block version of the WWE logo. I don't care, but just that above the entrance. I want big ass banners in the rafters.
Yeah.
I want blue mats on the outside.
Oh, Joe, do you guys think? I don't want to stall anything. I really.
No, go for it. It's fine.
Now that he's back on a Legend, do you think Jesse's going to be there?
Yes. Yeah. Because wasn't there some lore about Hogan not being in the advertising? And while you answer that, I'm going to put a super chat. Please answer. Can you guys deal with the super chat while I deal with my nose? Because I'm going to have a explosion here any moment. Bob, talk about Hulk Hogan, then someone read the super chat and I'll be back. I'll be on camera.
I saw that Jimmy Hart's going to be there, and they didn't announce, like, Hogan's going to be there as well. And you would think, like, Jimmy Hart's not just going to be there to do nothing, but you would think they'd announce Hogan, too. So it's kind of strange. And, obviously, if Hogan's not there, that would lend itself to Jesse probably being there.
If they put Jesse on commentary, I'll lose my shit.
Yeah, even just do an interview backstage, just, with someone for, they're happy to see.
Fuck that. Put him on commentary and just let him wing it. I don't even give a shit if he watches the product every week. Let him fucking wing it.
I don't know if NBC would love that, but, it'd be fun. All right. I gotta read the super chat. Andy said, Punk shouldn't blade. He doesn't need the pathos. He's here for fan service and to set up other feuds. The guys at the heart of the story need it. That's fair. I'm not going to complain if he does, but, I won't complain if he doesn't either. I think there are a couple other guys who could do it more, but, Orc, what do you think? Or Jack, you can go ahead, too.
Jack,
here's a hidden gem that might work. What if Jacob blades and has the Crimson Mask, but then goes fucking ballistic?
Hell yeah.
And starts tearing into everyone in front of him.
That would be good.
Okay, yeah.
That would be cool, yeah, for sure.
Sorry, guys. I agree with Andy. I think Punk, he just bled at the Bad Blood. And I agree with Andy, this is not his story. He's here to sell other stuff. I think it's spawn. I agree with it completely. Big Rome bleeding would be a crazy visual, but there ain't no way. He ain't doing it, bro. He said, there's no chance. He ain't got enough of a game from that.
Yeah, remember how cool he looked, though, at 34?
Oh, yeah, it'd be awesome. Yeah. I talked about 34 earlier. It was deeply distressing. Let's not go back to it.
That was the only good thing was Roman getting the Crimson Mask.
Yeah. I had to review AJ and Shinsuke, Jack. Deeply distressing memory. Yeah. What made it worse was when I rewatched it, I was like, this match is honestly pretty good. It's just one of the most uncomfortable things to watch because the atmosphere is, you can tell they've put together a match for this great atmosphere, and people have been in the building for 7 hours and just sitting there.
Rock and Roman?
No, worse, AJ Shinsuke. Not worse, but you remember it more because the high expectations were higher. It isn't worse. I shouldn't say that.
Right.
Yeah, very unfortunate show. All right. Should we preview some Survivor Series, fellas?
Let's do it.
Do it.
Sure.
Well, I think we should probably skip, because we've been doing this for an hour, we should probably skip the temperature check and like lace it. We'll just do it as we go, because we're going to talk about excitement for the matches anyway, right?
Yeah.
And if we have time at the end as a bonus, we'll circle back and do temperature checks. All right. So this is how it goes here, folks. But first, let's dive straight in. We've got no time to waste other than the 55 minutes they've just gone. Let's get into these. Let's get ourselves a shark cage here and set up the double cage. Let's head into WarGames. I assume it will open. They usually bookend the shows with WarGames. We have a match that came together in very interesting ways and did not get rave reviews in the build-up, but has landed upon a unique collection of talent. Rhea Ripley, Bianca Belair, Naomi, Io Sky, and Bayley, which it has to be said is quite the team. I mean, that's like an all-star team.
Mm-hmm.
And they are facing the lottery team here of Liv Morgan, Raquel Rodriguez, Nia Jax, Tiffany Stratton, and Candice LeRae. Now, immediately, Jack, I'm going to you on this because you famously are the Candice LeRae aficionado on this platform. She's in WarGames, brother. She's in WarGames. This is big business for you, Jack. Are you excited?
I am actually. Because I think even though the build has sucked from what I can see, I think that all the women involved in this match are going to put on a good show. And that includes Candice and, Rhea. But what's the deal with this Jade Cargill stuff?
Isn't it strange, Jackie?
Can someone just clue me in on what's going on here?
Well, no one really knows.
Outside, I don't watch the TV. I
Right.
I saw the angle with Jade, and then I saw the report from Meltzer. Yeah, she's like dead, basically.
Yeah,
like real life, real life dead. And PW Insider is like, no, there's nothing wrong with her.
My understanding is there's mixed reporting.
My question is, how does this play into the match?
Well, Oracle, I'll go to you on this because I think you'll have a better answer than I will. That would be where you would be allocating a turn, right? If something's up with this Jade Cargill situation.
Uh-huh.
Speak on that, Oracle, because I don't really know the. Yeah.
So there's a lot of options, and I'm just going to run through the options, and we'll kind of compare and contrast there. So the options for her turn could basically be anybody on the team other than Rhea and Io. So it could be Bianca, it could be Bayley, it could be Naomi. The most interesting I've heard from a casual, well, I wouldn't say he's a casual fan, but he's mostly just like a hardcore WWE fan. But it was an interesting consideration was Bayley and Naomi being in cahoots with one another.
Oh, cahoots, you say?
Yeah, cahoots. So those are the options. I think the most interesting would be Bayley and Naomi in cahoots, kind of. Though I would say, if they execute a Bianca turn well, it could go pretty hard. But those are the options. The least interesting to me would be Bayley just turning on her own again.
Yeah, she just turned baby, right?
Naomi makes the most sense from the storytelling that they've done on television the last few months.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it's the second least interesting because it's like, whatever.
Well, we do have we have a sick Grinner here who apparently has an update on Jade Cargill's situation. This seems relevant. Let's go to this now. We have Ibu on the phone here calling in. I'm informed you have news of some ilk, or an update at least.
So league sources tell ESPN that no, I'm playing. I was trying to do like a little like a radio-y phony filter.
Yeah, like you were standing outside.
No, anyone that watches like Sports Center, whenever like some really crazy breaking sports news happens, like they'll just try to rush one of these fuckers on the phone, and it just sounds so foggy. And they're like, they're saying the Kings gave up 4 draft picks, but it looks like exactly. But thanks
coming
for
to us
me,
live
everybody.
via speakerphone.
Yes.
Literally. Thanks for having me, guys. You guys run a great show here. Love the late night Grin. Good to have you back on Fridays, Joe. But this Jade thing is weird as fuck. I'm gonna give you guys my perspective on what's going on because I've got entrenched in this. So Jade gets written out of that match. Dave immediately the next morning is like, "Oh yeah, she's hurt. This is gonna be at least 3 months." And I'm like, "Okay." I immediately start kind of like temperature checking like some of the other big wigs in the industry, like, "Hey, whatever," and nothing. And then the next domino to fall is PWN, and they're like, "Oh, she's broken her neck, man. Like her neck is broken. She's out a year." And I'm gonna be completely honest with you, I didn't take it super seriously. I go to WWE and I was like, "Hey, is Jade all right?" And I got a question mark, and then I said, "Did she break her neck?" And then they said, "Who reported that?" I send them the report that says this. I got a laugh react. And so I'm like, okay. Then I give it 2 more. I give another day. Nothing from Fightful officially. Nothing from PW Insider. The only people were Dave and PWN. And again, one of those reports was laughed at by WWE. And so respectfully, I just thought, Uncle Dave, who we love very dearly, throughout this year has had a tough year when it comes to getting work. So I officially went on the Raw review, and I said, I can't say for sure, but I think this is an old work scheme. That was my opinion, my take, right? And I thought that's pretty much what this was going to be. Thursday on Thanksgiving, PW Insider says Jade's fine. She's not hurt. So I was like, all right, well, there you go. There you fucking go. I knew it. But then this took a very, very odd turn, Joe.
Uh-oh.
Because then people started approaching me, and they're like, this is a cover-up from something else. And I'm like, huh?
Oh, no, not a cover-up. That never goes well.
Yeah. And then Dave on Observer Newsletter is like, it's a cover-up for a political issue, is what he says.
What?
That's what he said.
Huh?
And again, I was just kind of like, Dave's lost it again. And I kind of just tossed that out in casual conversation with someone. And then I get the eerie, is that what he reported? Because I heard similar. And I was like, oh my God. And so I scan around, and now the vibe from people is that something happened. I don't know what the fuck that could even be.
So when you say a political issue,
I don't know.
We can't be talking Trump, because if she would be beating Cody.
Yeah, I assume it's not
Kevin.
Yeah, I assume. Now again, let me be clear. I know I'm asking you something you don't know the answer to. I'm speaking, just trying to piece this together. You know what I'm saying? So
yes,
that would imply like a wrestling, some sort of incident internally. You presume,
you know what
right?
Because here's the thing. Because first it was she's hurt, then it's turned into she's not hurt, but something happened, right? And so one thing I can tell you from the beginning, they have been extremely non-transparent about this and very secretive about whatever is going on with Jade Cargill. I asked somebody I could say that is very close to her. I said, hey, is Jade okay? I hope Jade is okay. And got like kind of no-sold. And I was like, okay. But I guess what I'm getting at here is that this is a story that I thought we had a good idea of what's going on midweek, and now it seems to be something that's just weirder the more you dig into it, basically, is what I would say.
Would you say this sounds like something that's bigger than they don't trust her in WarGames, which would to me seem... I don't really buy that because it's WarGames. You know, it's like the easiest match to hide someone in the world. So
I agree.
Yeah, I don't buy that. Okay, cool. All right.
I think, and here's the thing. The thing is, they're still like roping her situation into the TV. So like, obviously, they're still like Bianca versus Jade is still on based on the TV. If that makes any sense. But they've changed the route getting there. So then I wonder, like, if she hypothetically has heat, Is it like what happened? You know what I mean? It's like, did they go like, all right, serve your quiet suspension, and then we'll go from there? You know what I mean? I don't know.
Bro. No clue.
I don't
But
know.
I mean, obviously, it goes without saying we all co-signed the
It
point that was in
doesn't.
there, which is hopefully everything's okay. Obviously,
Right.
It doesn't shock.
Here's what makes this even trickier. I said straight up, did she fail a wellness violation? And all I got was, well, they keep those secrets from like everyone now, so who knows? So this is not recklessly speculating that that's what's happened, but like that could just be a thing as well.
I mean, yes, because I mean, look, I mean, AJ Styles and Randy Orton came back last year, and I mean, yeah.
It doesn't.
High five.
It doesn't shock me, and this is not a tribalistic thing at all, but it does not shock me that this situation with Jade specifically is so weird, because she was really next to Cody the first big, like, we stole someone from AEW to the point where like we plastered her all over our socials and the website, like we signed her. Like, this is not going to fail. So that's why it doesn't shock me that they're being so tight-lipped about whatever is going on, because they think they can fix it.
Yeah, there's a lot of time invested.
Like they don't want to admit failure in some. And I'm not saying Jade's a failure. I love Jade. I really do.
No, I agree with you. Yeah, I agree with you. Yeah, but
whatever is going on here, like, they're going to extra lengths to be like, whether it's Ibu or Sean or Dave or whomever is poking in, and now I will tomorrow to the few people I have, just because I'm curious. But it doesn't shock me they're being like, don't have any answers for you.
Very interesting. Very, very interesting. All right. Well, I appreciate the update. But you got anything else you'd like to discuss while you're here, mate?
Not particularly, other than fuck the Grinners who voted for Mayhem 1999. That was really tough.
This is a good point from Buster. We're watching Armageddon on Sunday. Give the Grinners a synopsis on that show to get them excited. It's good. Do the hard sell before you go.
Sure. So it's 2000. We're ending what was, in my opinion, actually almost borderline objectively the best official year of the Attitude Era in the WWF. A year that led to the creative flourishment of numerous talents. But nonetheless, we close this year out. Mick Foley is still the commissioner of the WWF.
My dad ordered that pay-per-view. I watched that pay-per-view live. That's cool.
Beast.
Hell yeah, man. So look, here's the deal, man. Mick Foley is still the commissioner of the WWF. Man is trying to wrangle control from him. And Mick Foley thought that a lot of the main event programs, Joe, were beginning to kind of converge. And Mick said, listen, man, I know how to fucking settle this. You guys are going to be in a Hell in a Cell. And in the weeks leading up to the Hell in a Cell, Vince McMahon had been pleading and trying to convince all these talents to not do the match because of what it does to one's body and mind. Jim Ross has been selling it big. And folks, this is Armageddon. It's the 6-man Hell in a Cell in your main event. It's Kurt Angle as your WWF champion. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson in the middle of his prime. Stone Cold Steve Austin recently returned from his neck injury. Triple H in the best year of his career. Rikishi, who's in the midst of a main event heel push that would end in about a couple weeks after this pay-per-view. And The Undertaker, who is a few months into his American Badass run. So, yeah, man, a fun show with a very iconic main event, an explosive one. And if someone gets hurt from this match, Mick Foley will be fired. That was what was told to him, and we'll see what happens to Mick. We'll see what happens to the WWF Championship. Elsewhere on the show, the one Billy Gunn versus Chris Benoit for the Intercontinental Championship.
We'll do this we'll do it behind the paywall. All right, so folks, you can join us for that on LNG Gold, and Eva will do the exact bit he was about to do, but like without any restraint.
Kane versus Jericho, last man standing.
There you go.
Well,
Holly versus William Regal, European champion.
Yes.
More importantly, yes. And I got Rikishi in that match. I got Rikishi. I think he pulls it out in the cell. We'll see what happens. But that'll be live on Sunday night, folks. Ibu will be there. All right,
Yes.
brother. I appreciate you stopping by.
Thank you for
I'll see you
stopping.
there.
Thanks for having me. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Shout out to Bron Breaker. Take care, everybody.
See you later, mate. Bye.
Bye.
There you go. Fascinating. Okay, Ryan chipping in here with a prediction as well as WarGames. Naomi makes sense. Jade and Naomi were on the same side of the US bracket, which helps improve Naomi's odds. Bianca and Jade didn't help Naomi in her title match, even though they said they would be there, but Bayley was. Okay, that feels like a very sound reasoning there behind this Naomi turn. Chris, what do you think?
Yeah, so whatever the real reason for this, I'm not really bothered by it one way or the other.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think there's going to be a turn in the WarGames match. I do think that this is going to lead to, I don't know how long it's going to take, but a good old fashioned whodunit. That we haven't had, I don't think, since the ill-fated who ran over Roman Reigns angle. which led to the rise of Bud Murph at the time.
It was worth it.
Yeah, right.
Speaking of, well, never mind. Go ahead.
No, yeah, absolutely not.
So that's what I'm looking forward to is to see because I love a good wrestling whodunit.
Yeah. I mean, if Ryan was the detective and I was the judge, Naomi's going to prison, bro. He's put together a hell of an argument. Bob, you got any read on this whodunit situation?
No, that makes a lot of sense. I thought it was Bayley, but I mean, and it would give Naomi something to kind of do. Like, since coming back, she's kind of just been there. Like, that'd be a nice featured thing for her.
Yeah, it'd be interesting. Kartik asked a question for Ibu, and he literally just left when it was sent. So I'm going to keep this stored, and we'll circle back. What I would say is most folks are pretty confident Kevin has re-signed. That's not me doing the reporting. I'm telling you what people that, are in the know. Jackie Crosby's had to go and help out in the land of the CBS. We send him our well wishes. Thank you, Jack, for a wonderful appearance tonight. What a great Ospreay Orton diversion he offered there. What nothing better than when Jack Crosby's in the house, folks. We hope you enjoyed having Jack on. We certainly did. Carson, I'm going to keep this here, but I would be pretty confident Kevin's re-signed. I'll leave it at that. Ibu's in the chat, so if he can answer that for you, that'd be very much appreciated. Ibu, Kartik asked this question for you literally as you was leaving. He sent a super chat, so I feel bad. All right. This match. So, question. Okay, first what I want to do is excitement level for the match and then your prediction. And then afterwards, I want to agent it very briefly. Bob, I'll start with you. Your excitement level for it and who you think will be winning.
Okay. This is still for the Women's WarGames?
Yes. Sorry.
Okay. No, I think it's going to probably – so I'm with Oracle. There's probably going to be a turn, and I think we've kind of keyed in on Bayley or Naomi at this point. But I think the Babyface team is still going to win solely because they have Rhea and Bianca, and I don't see those two losing.
Yeah.
And, yeah, I mean, even if, Bayley or Naomi leave the team, in 2019 they had Dakota and Tegan do their turn, and then Rhea and was it Io and Candice were the other two? They won anyway, so it's been done.
I think it was just Rhea and Candice.
Yeah, Io was on the other team. You're right. So it was Rhea
Yeah.
and Candice against the other four, and they still won. So yeah, I'm going with the Babyfaces.
Yeah, the Babyface team on paper is hilariously loaded by comparison.
They're a loaded team.
I don't know, Orc. What do you think?
Babyfaces are going to win this match, I think, even if they do a turn in the match. It'll be similar to the 2019 one, right? On NXT. If they do that, they may not. Part of my problem is face advantages in WarGames. That's immediately going to hurt the match.
Yeah,
the match is immediately like I don't care. I don't care what they do. I don't care. Sorry, it's immediately like that's like a star and a half down. So it's immediately bad. So
Star and a half.
they have to. There are rules and they have to be followed, and that's just how I am as a fan. You can say I'm jaded or whatever, but you have to follow certain rules, and they're not following them there, and it makes me very upset. And to be honest, I hope somebody turns so that the rules can be followed. Otherwise, I'm just going to go ahead and break it down.
Break it down.
This is a loaded babyface team. And actually, they could if they did an injury angle with somebody that could work, but they can't do that because they already did the thing with Jade. Like, they could do a thing where, like, as Jake pointed out, like Nia takes somebody out, but like they need to be taken out of the match if they do that. Candice LeRae is taking the pin here. Nobody else is taking the pin. It's her. I don't see the two champs taking the pin. I think there's a chance Tiffany could, but I don't know. I don't even buy Raquel taking it. I think Candice is there to lose. I think this match could be fun, but with the babyface advantage, it's going to hurt it a lot for me.
Yeah.
It will probably be fun. Io will probably do something awesome. Because I don't think that the Fed is comfortable with the ladies hiding the razor blade in their wrist tape. I think this will probably end up being more of a plunder atmosphere, which is a little bit unfortunate, to be honest with you.
Kind of has to be, though, doesn't it, really? Because the other one's going to be so...
To be fair, you really don't want two bloodbaths. That's why this match should just been a 5-on-5 Survivor Series tag. Because unless there was a really good reason for it to be a WarGames match, it's just it's the whole, like...
it has to just basically be, like, fun chaos, doesn't it? It has to.
And I think it will be fun chaos for the most part. Things that could have elevated the match even more, forget the blood and all that other stuff, things that could have elevated the match just on a more traditional level are gone because of the babyface advantage, unless they do a turn or somebody gets stretchered out. But I do think, the babyface team is so loaded, especially with Bianca and Rhea on there. I mean, they're not losing.
Yeah, I agree. I think they're winning without any kind of turn or incident. There may be like a moment of miscommunication, but that's it. I don't think this is going to be very complicated. I think they're just going to win, to be honest, and Candice will probably be the one who gets pinned. How are we agent in this? Who's starting for the heel team, Tiffany?
Well, or you want to go to the... Because
No, it's fine. Go for it, Chris. Go for it.
I think because the babyface team is so OP and because they have the advantage, I think the heel team is winning this match. Because I also think OG Bloodline is winning their match. And so I think you have the heels win the ladies match. But I do agree with Oracle. This should have just been a traditional Survivor Series 5-on-5 match instead of WarGames. It would have been. I mean, then you're having, you're possibly having two champions take pins in that scenario. But this didn't need as much goodwill. Hunter built at Bad Blood with only restraining himself and only having one Hell in the Cell. He kind of went the other way with this by insisting on having two WarGames matches. 5-on-5
Survivor Series match would have been great for this. Oracle's on the money with that. By the way, there's been some awful allegations in our chat. Bob's been called many things in our chat. This is the worst allegation ever sent our way. Do we not regularly talk about how awesome he is, guys?
Hey, he was going to finish very well in my...
The New York 50?
Yeah, my New York 50.
She might even make the Fleet 50.
Did you not watch the wine sessions, Perk?
The wine? Exactly. Oracle's such a professional.
We're getting the trash can spot, right?
Oh, of course.
Oh,
yeah.
This is full plunder. This is playset WarGames, brother. This is big business. I think Tiffany's opening for the heel team. What do you guys think?
I can see Candice.
I can. Because of respectfully her, she'd probably be the actual correct pick, but because her TV standing is so low, I'm not sure. They're the two, I think, though, right?
Yeah, it's one of the two of them.
And babyface team, I guess they probably want EO to come in and make a big impact, so maybe not. Maybe Bianca?
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
And then do we agree Liv and Rhea in last on respective teams?
Yeah, I think you kind of have to.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I could see it being Nia and Rhea last.
Maybe. And then Liv in just before that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So baby faces are in first, right? So then you could do
Yeah.
then you could do Liv in and then Rhea immediately comes in. Yeah, that would work, I guess. All right. There's some look, I mean, this heel team is I actually think Liv will be pretty good in this match because Liv is game to take crazy bumps. I think she'll be fine here. Raquel concerns me because bless her, this is not a match that I, in my mind, I do not expect this to be well suited to Nia Jax either, to be honest.
Yeah.
And even Tiffany, like as good as Tiffany is, dude, she's been wrestling for like 3 years.
When she's 1-on-1, and for what it's worth, Plunder match like the Meacham Plunder match was great.
Yeah.
But she's better off working a 1-on-1 sort of David Goliath match, When there's a lot of set pieces and stuff, that's not Nia's strength.
Yeah, and Jake is correct. Tiffany was great in the chamber match. So, she's used to these highly produced things. I think Candice, the more I think about it, maybe that is I don't know. It's tough to say, but that's kind of a loose outline. The babyface team, you can go in many different directions. I think the only thing we're certain of is Rhea's in last for the babyfaces.
Yeah.
Other than that, I mean, the other names could all open, really, right? I mean, it depends. EO would be my preferred pick, but I think they're going to save EO so that she can make like a big entrance and do something crazy off the top and, some sort of spectacle entrance. They did that thing before where EO was like locked out for a bit and then she came in from jumping off the top, right? Like something like that. If there's no turn, they'll find a way to, undercut the baby faces. Like someone will get kicked out or someone will get put through a table on the outside, something like that.
So I've been thinking for baby faces, I would go Bianca start. And then I would have Bayley second to come in and really, show that Bianca can trust her in that.
She's on the team
because that's been a thing.
Yeah.
And then I would go probably EO third, Naomi fourth, and Rhea fifth.
And Rhea, yeah. All right, that makes some sense. Bob, any read on the placement here, mate? Are we good to proceed?
No, I think I'm with you guys.
All right, so I think this match will be very good, like very fun.
Yeah.
I'm not going to pretend that I am like a great deal of investment in this because I do not. That doesn't mean it's not, compelling. I haven't really seen a lot of the build, and what I have seen has been quite bad. I'm pretty much I think I've seen enough of the Rhea Liv stuff just from my personal taste. I think it overachieved. I think it's probably time to move on.
To me, the feud, I was done with it. Bash at Berlin was it. After that, I was done.
I think Io Sky, I've changed my finish. I think Io Sky is going to pin Liv Morgan, and that's going to be the Saturday night's main event match. I think. But I think it'll be very, very fun. And there'll be a hot way to open the show. The middle of this show is going to be very interesting because there's a match I'm very confident on. There's a match I think that can go either way. And then there's a match that is... I find its inclusion to be puzzling. And let's do it now. US title on the line. LA Knight and things of that nature. Defends his belt against the returning Shinsuke Nakamura, who was off TV from April. He got moved to SmackDown. He got a vignette and then he disappeared. He was a full-time live event main eventer in this time, which was very, very, very beast. I was supposed to see this match live in Dublin, and then a week before the show, they pulled Shinsuke from the tour. And I'm going to be completely honest. I thought that Shin was wrapping up his dates and going home, to be honest with you. That was my honest read on the situation. I think that still might be the situation, to be honest with you. I think a certain man from Georgia's status is different than they anticipated. I think there are some moving pieces. I do not think for a second that 2 months ago on the Survivor Series run sheet it said Shinsuke Nakamura versus LA Knight. I could be wrong. I don't know. This is purely guesswork. I think something's happened here. Changes, moving pieces. Now, the problem with this is Shinsuke is... I think Shinsuke can have good wrestling matches. Not many of them, but I think he can. However, this feels like an insane stylistic matchup for him. I mean, this isn't even a matchup that like highlights the remaining strengths he has. This is a bizarre combination here, Bob. What do you make of this LA Knight Shinsuke match for a pipe?
Yeah, it's very weird. It was kind of like you said, thrown together out of nowhere. Like, I don't even disagree, or I'm not even like against saying, "Oh, LA Knight could lose." It just feels like maybe Carmella or Andrade was a better choice than Shinsuke. So like, it's very strange. I think it might be okay. It kind of feels a lot like Miz and Gunther last year, where it's just like on the card to, be on the card and get to the other WarGames matches. And,
that match was built well, though, Bobby. That match was
true.
built well.
That's true. They did build that.
Yeah.
This is just, it's only been a couple weeks, and like Shinsuke just showed up and was in the thing. So, yeah, it's very strange. Again, I hope it delivers, but it's weird.
It's very strange. Shinsuke had a match earlier this year with Sami Zayn that I know people were fond of. I did not see it. It was on like the Road to Mania, I think.
Oh, yeah.
There's a couple of matches with Sami Zayn, I think. There are opponents who can have good matches with Shin. I don't know if LA Knight is necessarily has the recipe. I'm not sure. Chris, where do you stand on this one?
Yeah, like everyone else, I was kind of shocked when he popped up and this was the direction. Part of me is like in full some men want to watch the world burn mode and like, yeah, sure, put the title in Shinsuke, see what happens. Only because like where do you go with LA Knight after this? Because he's already done the Andrade and Carmelo thing. I mean,
weird,
you could go back to that, but it's just really weird. But I think LA probably retains. But yeah, it's just weird.
Something has to have changed for that belt. Like, because there's no way their plan for the best of 7 was what ended up happening, which was like nothing. Like, they just killed the 7th match and then just had them both lose. Like, bizarre. But even then, like, what could have changed? Like, you still would have just flipped the belt. And I love LA Knight, but like, it kind of really didn't do anything for those guys. It didn't kill them. That's dramatic. But you get what I'm saying? I mean, they put a lot into that series, and in the end, it was for naught.
Yeah.
Very
strange. Make them a tag team this time.
No, they didn't even do that. Not even the bar. Imagine they were just called the bar. What a baffling situation here, Oracle. Who'd have thought we'd be previewing a Shinsuke match on paper here in November 2024? What do you think?
I mean, I don't know, man. Like, this match just doesn't like, and yeah, I mean, it's just a whole argument in the chat about how good or bad that Andrade match was. The match wasn't that bad to be. I was fine. But like, that's also like a match where like, guys just hit each other hard and like, the issue with Shinsuke is LA Knight's not really a guy who's going to do that. Like,
no,
he's not. He's not Andrade or Shin had one really good match in 2024, and it was against Sami Zayn in the Road to WrestleMania, which was like shockingly good because Shin had been so bad before that. But the Cody match at the beginning of the year were not good. In fact, they were bad in my opinion. Not terrible, but they were bad. And stylistically, I think this is a poor mesh here.
Yeah.
And I do not believe this will be good. It could be. I have strong doubts. And I think it's a really weird inclusion to the show. What a bizarre addition.
It's going to be in this spot too, isn't it? It's going to be after the WarGames.
Yeah.
To me, it's like
gotta be, right?
Yeah, it's going to die.
It can't possibly be.
Unless they want to slide it before the, if they want to go in between like the world title match and the men's WarGames.
Yeah.
The most likely scenario, or the most positive scenario, which is not impossible, is that the match just ends up being solid.
I think there's a chance it's a good pros deal, and it's just fine. I do, yeah.
I think there's a chance there. I just have no interest in it, and I have not only just no interest, but I have negative interest in it. So it's one of those matches that, like, you know what I mean? It's like, I don't want to see this. I don't want to watch this.
Yeah.
Which of course I don't have to. I mean, I'll be with family, and there'll be all sorts of other things going on. So I mean, I could always do other things while the match is going on. I don't have to watch it. But it's just I find it to be a bizarre inclusion. But there have been weird conclusions. This is weirder, but and hey, I'm a fan. But Zoe Stark getting the title match at Rhea Ripley at Survivor Series last year was odd. Weird things happen.
Brother, I'd forgotten all about that adventure.
Yeah,
Good call.
weird stuff happens.
I think this is going to be a trivia question answer. Who did LA Knight wrestle at the Survivor Series? Everyone's going to go, Andrade, Carmelo, Shinsuke Nakamura. I think that the Booker man is looking after someone he likes a lot here and kind of throwing him a bone, to be honest with you. I honestly think this is I don't think much thought's going to I think this will be placed in a spot where it will absolutely die on the card and it will be 8 minutes and it'll be fine and everyone will go home. Not literally, I mean sort of figuratively. But there you go. An interesting one here. Strange one. We all got LA Knight winning, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. We kind of unhinged, though, Chris's point. If after all this, Shin just beats him. Plethora sent a super chat says, EO live at MSG, EO over in 8 seconds with the jackknife. Listen, I'm not against it, man. It's for a minute, I thought they were actually going to do that. But, yeah.
They've gone this long. Rhea's got to be the one to beat Liv for that.
Yeah.
That's
especially now she's back.
Yeah. I don't know if it's that Saturday night's main event. I don't know if it's God help us if they. I mean, I guess they only got a month left, but if it's the Netflix debut, but whenever it is, it's got to be Rhea. They should, like I said, I think I said this on the Crown Jewel preview. They should have flipped it back and forth.
Yes.
Anyways, to keep this thing fresh a little bit more if they were really wanting to stretch this out this far.
Sometimes it's a good play call, man. Switching the belt back and forth. Sometimes it suits the angle. This is a soap opera deal. You might as well just do it. I'm with you completely.
Mm-hmm.
Now, obviously, that ship has sailed. But I want to shout out Jumanji Hunter who gifted 5 LNG Gold memberships. If you got one of those, please thank Jumanji Hunter. I don't know how that works. I think you can be a member and get you can get a month free from that. I don't know. If you're one of those 5, thank you, Jumanji Hunter, as we will too. Thank you very much, bro. I appreciate the support immensely. The support tonight for this whole show has been terrific. Jumanji Hunter said, happy Thanksgiving. Hope it makes it to people who actually watch LNG Gold. Hoped it would have gone to more of the non-members in the chat, but you can't control it. Okay, so yeah, it can go to members. But either way, very much appreciated. As is all the support for Gold. You see on our little banner here at the bottom, all of the Grin Gold members. We appreciate you guys very, very, very much. Okay.
Can we not do the thing where we're like, oh, we're sick of Rhea, no more title runs, and then as soon as Rhea's not in the title picture anymore, we complain that Rhea's not in the title picture? Can we not do that? Because we've done it.
Yeah.
People did it with Becky. People started doing it with Bianca, and can we just not do that, please?
I assume you're talking to the chat and not me talking about the Grin.
Yeah.
Cool. I was very confused. I thought Oracle had said something. I was very scared. It's part of being pushed, man. It's just people just do that stuff, right? It's part of the game, unfortunately. Bob, stop it. IC title. This is the one that Ibu circled. Bron Breakker, Sheamus, Ludwig, Kaiser. This is going to be what they call in the industry a banger, I'm told. I think there is going to be red chests and there's going to be action. There was an insane moment on Monday in which Bron Breakker nearly died, it appeared. He's terrific. This is a fun... I like that this is on pay-per-view. I think this is the kind of thing we've all wanted more of on pay-per-view, and I think it's it's cool to see Sheamus on one of these. I'm not going to lie, I kind of would have just been happy to see Bron and Sheamus go one-on-one, but I also get, variety of the show. There's going to be 2 single matches. Here's a triple threat match, all that good stuff. This will be very good, I think. Chris, what do you make of the IC title match?
I'm excited for it. I think it should be really good. I think Bron probably retains here. I want because I think he can do a better job. Can Oracle? Can you just go talk about that Bron bump from Monday on the table? Because that was
okay.
Just
so let's talk about this. Okay, so he's done 2 spots in the last couple of weeks. that have been remarkable. In the Sheamus match, he decided he was going to do a top rope swanton bomb to the floor where he was going to overextend, and Sheamus had to catch him. And then this past Monday in the Kaiser match, he proceeded to do his run around the ring spear, if I'm not mistaken,
Mhm.
which he missed, and he full on went ribs first,
Into the corner of
into the corner of the announce table, full speed, which I mean,
Definitely a Steiner.
yeah, I mean that was just So when you consider those factors that just occurred on regular TV, put that into perspective and think about the sort of things that this green meathead might try and do on a pay-per-view outing, and it's quite fascinating to think about. Not to mention the hard hitting and chest bleeding and such that we will be able to see. The triple threat match is not my favorite type of bout. I would have preferred a Braun Sheamus singles match as well, but I mean, they've been building this triple threat for a little while now, so I get it. I'm not a huge fan of Kaiser. I think he's good. I think he has his limitations, and I think um somewhat too gimmicky
Hmm.
with promos and stuff. So I'm not a huge fan. But he is good, and he does hit hard.
Yeah.
So I think this match probably has the highest floor, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think so. Yeah.
Most likely in terms
Yeah.
of quality. I suspect. Excuse me, I'm struggling with
You're fine.
with the nose too. I think it's running the heat for the first time in a while, and I
Kicks the
should
shit out of
probably
me.
check my air filter and fix that. But I think Braun will retain here.
Hmm.
Sheamus getting the IC title is a thing that I'm not sure will ever actually happen. Braun has been pretty spectacular this year in terms of just being fun to watch, and I'm very excited to see what he does tomorrow. I believe
Yeah.
he retains.
I do too. I got Bron winning a very, very fun one. Chris, what you thinking here?
Yeah. Braun retains.
Yep. Okay. Bobby?
Yeah, I think Braun over Kaiser. It would be cool to see Sheamus win with the, finally get the Grand Slam thing, but they haven't really emphasized that since, last year when they were bringing it up. It'd be weird for him to just win here and do it, but yeah, I'll go with Braun.
Yeah.
You
I
could
go for it.
No, I was gonna say you could do, if it's not Braun, I could do them do the thing where Sheamus pins Kaiser.
Yeah.
I do think Sheamus will eventually win the belt just because he's recently re-signed. I think he'll have time. And either way he's wrestling now, he doesn't really move anymore. He just sort of whacks people, doesn't he? So I think he'll be fine. I think he'll be doing this for years, to be honest. I think he'll win it eventually. We shall see. Remy, been a member for 2 months here on LNG Gold. Very much appreciated. Says, who do you guys think win the mid-card belts? The women, my guess would be Mia, Chelsea for the US, Io or Lyra for the IC. I think it's very important when you're doing 2 belts at the same time, which I would personally advise against, to be honest with you, because I think you can just wait. But they're going to do them both at the same time. I think they need to be different. So I think Chelsea should definitely get one because it should be like a personality deal. She can kind of do the honky tonk stick that our friend Steve on Twitter always talks about. And then with that in mind, I think Io, who probably for better or worse will be coming off a loss to Liv Morgan, I think would be the answer on the other side, because then you have worker and character. I think Lyra Valkyrie is awesome, but
They've got to have a world champion win it.
Yeah.
Because they've got to establish credibility to it.
Yeah, it's I think
it's a big risk, and they may do it. But I think it's a big risk to have people who are not established stars win these.
Lyra's not over at all.
I think it could be a really big mistake.
Mhm.
Yeah, I tend to
Those
agree.
belts over,
Right.
or those belts aren't going to get over until somebody important wins them. That's just the truth of it.
That's why I could see Bayley winning the U.S. one, being the first U.S. champ.
Mhm.
To establish that.
You need to establish it, and then you can do like the projects. Like, if you want Lyra to be the champion eventually, that's fine. But you should probably establish the belt first. It's just I don't think it would go well. I don't know, Bob. Anything on this?
No, honestly, those are probably Chelsea and Io would be my picks at the moment. I thought Bayley, but I really do think she's involved with this Jade thing instead, and that's going to probably take up her time. And yeah, so Chelsea gets that. Io is the workhorse with the other title. Yeah.
Interesting. Thank you, Remy. I hope you've enjoyed Gold for 2 months. Here's many more. All right, SummerSlam rematch. Gunther, Damian Priest.
I hope they do stagger those a little bit.
Yeah, they need to for sure.
They're doing the finals of the U.S. at Saturday night's main event. I hope they stagger it and do the finals for the IC at the Netflix debut.
I think they are
will.
going
I
to
think
do
they will,
that.
Chris.
Yeah.
I think they are. I honestly, to me, I think they should have at least had a trial run where the TV title was just like on both a little bit, and then you could have seen. But I think they're going to do what you said, and that's better than doing it on the same night. Obviously, that would be doing both of them on Saturday's main event. I think would be a terrible way to get those
Psychotic.
belts over.
Yeah.
Damian Priest, Gunther, World Heavyweight title, SummerSlam rematch. This really, kind of overachieved, I think, at SummerSlam. People really, really like this match a lot, and I think for a lot of people, it was a show stealer. I don't know if this necessarily was what people expected at Survivor Series. I don't know if people were expecting a pay-per-view rematch. I think a TV rematch, I think you'd have put money on maybe not pay-per-view one. And as a result, I think people are kind of torn on this. I think people feel a lot more positively about this, knowing that Punk's doing something else and Punk isn't just absent. I'm not sure on this one. I think the match will the floor of this is good because it's Gunther. I don't think he's going to go and have a shitty match, but I'm not sure they're going to necessarily convince the people that like Priest can win, which is the big challenge. I could be wrong. Priest is a lot more popular than I give him credit for consistently. He's a genuine star for them and has been a big story of their 2024. I just don't know. I don't know. I haven't got a good read on this at all, to be honest with you. I think the match will probably be good, though. Oracle, anything on Priest and Gunther?
I think the match will be really good. I'm not particularly interested in seeing a rematch, to be honest. But I do think the match will be really good. The more I think about it, I stand corrected, and I'll say this myself. This probably has a higher floor because it's a singles match.
Yeah.
And they're bigger stars too. Right?
Yeah. This probably has the higher floor. But I think this and the triple threat will both. I can't guarantee anything, but they're both most likely going to be very good, both of them.
Yeah.
These two matches will kind of carry the weight of the show in terms of in-ring quality. Gunther's winning here. It's going to be a whole deal where he just basically like really defiantly wins and like beats Priest. I'm not saying he's going to go nuts or like do anything, but he's gonna like. I think Priest's going to kick out of stuff. And like he'll be defiant himself, but like Gunther's going to be mad because his confidence has dropped. Right, there's in the whole feud's kind of been his confidence has dropped since he lost to Cody, and he's going to be very angry and win in a pretty brutal fashion, I think.
Yeah, I agree. I think he needs to win emphatically. That's actually important, I think, for him. And my understanding, I haven't watched a ton of it, but the way that it's been explained to me, this build has had some interesting story elements with Gunther kind of wearing that loss. Chris, where's your excitement at for this, and who do you think's winning?
I'm really excited for this match. I like their SummerSlam match. I think this could honestly be better because I don't think we'll get the interference in it
and Balor
that we got at SummerSlam. But yeah, no, I've really loved the story of Priest basically calling Gunther out and saying, the mystique is gone because you lost to Cody, and Gunther is kind of, he's been trying to no sell it, but you could tell he's kind of like, oh, maybe. Even more so than him, because when he lost to Sami, he came right back and won King of the Ring. But this time it's been a little bit different. So I like that. Gunther wins, obviously. I like what Oracle said. Maybe Priest kicks out of stuff early and is defiant, and then Gunther just gets pissed off and goes full beast mode and just destroys Priest at the end to put him away.
I like it. I like that, Bobby. If people like this show, what should they do?
Yeah, smash that like button.
Beautiful. What do you think of this match, Bob?
It should be fun. I'm actually looking forward to it a lot more than I was a couple weeks ago. I was kind of mad because, it's not Punk and Gunther, but that all kind of got settled. And I like the SummerSlam match. I've liked what they've done here from what I've seen. I haven't watched Raw every week, but from what I've seen, it's been good. And yeah, I think they could have a really nice, solid match here. And like Chris said, without the interference, I think it's going to add to it too. And I'm on board with this idea of Gunther just kind of going crazy and getting his aura back.
Ibu says, Gunther's world has been shattered since losing to Cody, and he sold a lot in this build. But I'm curious what the character building aim is here, other than to give Cena promo dissection material. Fine speech. Yeah, I assume this match will be a rebuild of sorts coming out of that. I guess then the question is, what's Gunther's Rumble program? Right, is he working Punk on the Netflix deal? Is he working Punk at the Rumble? Or are they not working at all? Because I wonder what would be the next natural Gunther program if they say Punk's off the table, which he could be. I mean, there's a lot of politics in this business. What would it be? I wonder.
I feel like it has to be Punk.
Yeah, which is kind of spooky because
unless you do some sort of. Yeah, I guess you could do that.
Yeah.
I mean, they have to have this. They did the angle for some reason, right? Yeah. So Goldberg must be he's an option. I guess the brand split's kind of going to get thrown out in here anyway because Netflix, right? Everyone's going to be just on Netflix for a bit. So
yeah,
we shall see. On the other hand, good question. Where does Priest go after this? Because is the Judgment Day thing done?
No. It seems so Priest, as far as Priest is concerned, he's done with it, but Balor keeps obsessing over Priest in backstage segments and stuff. So I don't think he's done with Priest. So I could see them having a blow off at some point. But
what do you think? Here's a question. This is very tough to answer, but it's just gut feeling. What do we think Priest is doing at WrestleMania? Does he have a big singles match, or is he lumped in with something? What do you reckon? This interests me, stuff like this, because we're actually kind of close, guys, quietly.
Yeah.
I mean, we're on the road here soon,
Good Lord, Perk just hates him. My God.
Saying Perk just normally is, but because here's why I bring this up is, do you think him and Drew will work at Mania because of what happened last year or this year? By then last year, because otherwise, what's Drew going to do at the WrestleMania?
I could go for that.
Yeah,
I could go for that.
That makes sense.
I'm just telling stories here. That's what I do. All right, let's get to our main event here, folks. We're heading back into the WarGames. It's Bloodline Civil War again. Roman Reigns, the Usos, and Sami Zayn, they're back together, and they have a man from Chicago with them, plus their wise man, who I was informed dressed like Solo Sikoa last week on SmackDown. I did not know that.
He did.
Which, very exciting. We should all dress like Solo Sikoa. Speaking of the man himself, he is heading up the Bloodline here. They're officially listed here on this Wikipedia I'm looking at as they're the Bloodline. The other fellas are just they're just names. They're no unit. Well, Solo, Jacob, Tama, and Tonga, plus Bronson Reed, who I thought was officially added, but I guess isn't. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. I thought they said he's in the Bloodline now. Or I guess it's just for this match.
They didn't do a ceremony.
Oh, true. They should. Yeah, they would do a
Yeah.
ceremony. I don't know.
I don't know that one picture that was making the rounds of him and Jacob next to each other.
They look very cool. Again.
That was cool.
Yeah.
I thought they looked when he came out of them. I actually thought like, yeah, they might as well just leave him in that group. To be honest, I think it fits, and also like, they're not like exactly. They kind of need the talent too. So I'm with it actually. Initially, I thought it fucking sucked, but then I watched it and thought it was okay. Imagine that. So this match could go in. I mean, this could go many ways. I think with a crowd that's on board, this could be quite dynamic, I think. And by dynamic, I don't mean in terms of offense. I mean, like, it could be a good spectacle, It could be a good... it's going to be very theatrical. But if the people are with that, it could be quite, like, engaging, I guess would be the word. There's a version of this I think that's quite bad. I look at the heel team, and I think Tama Tonga is going to need to bring his working boots and then some, because as great as Jacob is, like, he's not going to be featured here from start. He's going to be used as an X Factor. He's going to come in late. So then if you take him off the board, it's like Solo, Tama, Tonga, and Bronson Reed. It's like, dude, it's a crazy team. And let's look, with all due respect and love to the man, I mean, Jimmy Uso has not exactly been Bobby Eaton since he got back in there. So there's some definitely, this is angle heavy. Like, I don't know, man. I'm excited to watch it. I'm intrigued by it. It's by far the match that has my attention. Like, I think it's a compelling conflict. I just don't know how good it's going to be. Bobby, what do you think? And who do you think's winning? I should ask too.
I think the babyface are winning. I think even if it's not like as good from an in-ring standpoint as last year or some of the other ones, it'll get by on the story being strong enough and the fact that I'm excited to see Punk in there. Excited to see Punk and Roman teaming, so it's stuff like that that's gonna work for me. Where if they hit those notes, I'll be fine with it, and I'll probably give it a little more leeway than I would have otherwise. But yeah, I'm really excited for it. I mean, I'm more excited for it than any other match on the show, even just for those reasons. So just getting in like that, and if they can deliver a good match, which I think it should be, it's not gonna be bad. Hopefully.
It definitely, I think if they have a really tough crowd, I think this could get out of control. I honestly do. Yeah. Who do you think's winning?
Baby faces. Probably one of Roman or Punk, I would imagine, over...
Don't say it. Don't you dare say it.
Probably Solo.
He said it, Joe. He said it.
There's no respect in this business anymore, Chris. What do you generally, Chris, you've been on the positive side of these bloodline things, and
yes.
I'm not really I'm normally alongside you, and I am excited for this. Where do you stand in terms of expectations for this, and then what do you think the finish will be?
So I think from just a straight wrestling perspective, I agree that the Priest Gunther match or the triple threat probably has the highest floor.
Yeah.
But as far as the overall story coming in and the star power and whatnot, I think they will have to try really hard for this to be bad.
Okay. Interesting.
It's just gonna have to be just awful to overcome the advantage they have coming into this. What I think. Yeah. I like I said earlier, I do think OGs win. But I think this could be where we might see a turn.
Mm.
And
Jimmy Uso, it's time.
Maybe one Samuel Zayn.
Wow.
Okay.
You're going there. He went there, Bob.
That's crazy.
I don't know if I've seen I've seen it make rounds a little bit, but it hasn't caught a large amount of steam. If you go back the SmackDown a couple weeks ago, where the ending of the show was Roman attempting to call Paul Heyman, so earlier there was a segment in that same room with all 4 members of the Bloodline.
Mm-hmm.
And Sami pulls a phone out of his pocket and tosses it on the couch.
I did not see this at all. This sounds like purposeful lore. My God.
Yeah. It could be nothing, but it also could not be nothing. So
it could be, yeah.
It could be a remote, but why would he like? It looked an awful lot like a phone.
That's interesting. I had no idea.
So yeah. I'm not, and it may not be in this match. It could be something later on where Heyman's like, "Hey, no, like, see, I told you," because you have to explain if Roman at some point you have to explain how if Roman couldn't get a hold of Paul, that like how did Paul come back and bring in Punk with like. You got to tie up those loose ends at some point, especially with this now. Paul's going to owe Punk a favor. What is that going to be? Like Sami would have motive. He never really got an apology out of Roman, and
who's
like
a dick generally. Yeah, that makes sense.
His real life BFF, is he could be very sympathetic to the Kevin Owens situation here, and it's maybe just kind of there's a reason why Kevin. You have to tell in a kayfabe way a reason why Kevin hasn't also attacked. Cody had just teamed up with Roman for a single match. Like Sami's like full on back part of the Bloodline.
Oh, I definitely think that will be a thing. I think the Sami element of this will be dealt with. I just think it will be dealt with them as opponents again. Sure. But you could be right. Yeah, like I think that will be the Mania match, but it could equally be what you said. I don't know. I wasn't aware of that other thing you mentioned. So that's interesting. I will say to your point too about the kind of floor of this. I think Punk being there does raise the floor in the sense that he adds even more star power to because this had star power, but it was more the angle. Like with Punk now, this is kind of ridiculous, right? This is like a big deal. It's a huge attraction. So this really should have a lot of heat. So I agree with you. They'd probably have to fuck it up pretty considerably for it to go wrong. The match is going to be polarizing because it's the Bloodline, but I think it probably veers positive. Oracle, I'm fascinated. Where do you stand on this?
So, give you a little bit of a tutorial here.
A tutorial?
Oh. So,
do I have to have notes? Make notes?
I think it's important that there's some.
You okay?
Liquor or something of that nature.
Yeah.
To take a quick swig of. Maybe take some aspirin.
Maybe.
Put something. Put the blade in your wristband here.
Yeah.
And then at some point, get your head smashed into the cage. And then poke and twist.
Poke and twist.
Yeah.
Now, to be clear, you're talking about if you're in this WarGames match. You're not saying generally, right? Because I don't want.
Well, no, not yeah.
Imagine if Oracle just starts.
If you're in this WarGames match.
The problem is you just said it was a tutorial, but you didn't really explain who it was for. So like. There may be someone out there that's followed your steps and is now in a great deal of pain, Oracle, which is not ideal.
Yeah. If you're one of the 10 members of the WarGames match, I want you to take your aspirin. I want you to take your quick shots of alcohol, and I want you to put the blade in your wrist tape, and I want you to take it out. And I want you to poke and twist. Now, if you're really brave, you can do this.
Tonga, tomorrow's the night, brother.
You can go coast to coast and break the Muda scale. That actually kind of hurt. It's kind of like a little piece of paper. It kind of cut myself.
Dude, for a minute, I feel like I was like starring on one of those like RF video, fucking like unravel, like one of those unhinged shoots. you sound like you were going to die, and you were talking about aspirin. It was insane, dude. I don't think you realize how this is honestly what that came off like. It was like it was a clip that hit my timeline from a 1999 shoe interview. It was terrifying. And you actually injured yourself too. My God. All right.
Yeah, well, we just need that. We need the blood.
Yes.
Vampires unite here. I think Sam Zayn would be good at bleeding. I think Tama Tonga would be a good choice. I think Jacob Fatu would be a good choice. I kind of like the argument against Punk. I think there was a solid argument that was made with one of our super chats about that. But I think if we get 2 or 3 of those guys to open themselves up for the business, and for us watching at home, and for those watching in Vancouver live, I think we can get something worthwhile out of this. Now, there'll be a lot of cinema storytelling and whatnot, and it's hit or miss. Sometimes it pops me. Sometimes I find it to be, kind of appalling. But I think this is kind of a difficult match to predict. I could see either team winning.
Yeah, same.
The self-implosion of the Roman side seems pretty plausible and fairly likely, but I could also see this feels like this should end the feud and not continue one.
Good luck.
But that's not the case. That's obviously not the case here. I think that's my biggest issue with this match is I want it to end. I mean, unless they can get something to where they can move on, they need to have something to have it can't just be the OGs versus the, Dwayne needs to come out or something, or Sami needs to turn or whatever, or something like that needs to happen. And for what it's worth, when they do the Bloodline stuff, there's always some sort of cinematic absurdity that occurs. So there's a strong likelihood something like that will happen. Results may vary on whether or not it's good or bad, but I find it difficult to predict. I am going to go with the heel team.
So am I.
I believe they will pull out the victory. How they do that, I think there's different scenarios that can play out. I think Dwayne's always a card they can play.
Mm-hmm.
Red One did a terrible job in the box office, just failed miserably. So I mean, he's looking to he's looking to get back in there.
He was ready to bounce back with Moana too, though. So
yeah, he has got
Moana.
yeah.
That is true. I was just thinking that before you said that, Chris. He is doing that.
If he's not here, he'll be at Saturday's.
He'll definitely be at Netflix at the latest. So I mean,
yeah.
But something is going to happen. Whether it's some sort of implosion will occur, and the heels will pull out the win here. I think.
Yeah, I think Punk's GTS in Roman, not in a turn, but in they're gonna have a miscommunication, an argument, and then I think he's gonna GTS him.
I could see that. Yeah.
I think there's gonna be a huge block of TV of Paul Lee dealing with the ramifications of that.
Well, based on that segment too that they had, where after Punk left and Roman was threatening Paul, and Paul made his face and whatnot. Yeah.
I'm torn on it because the Bloodline won in the Saudi 6-man, and it's I just don't know. I don't know if the new Bloodline really needs to win here. I think Roman has. Yeah, and Roman's got the shit kicked out of him for a lot of this build. And
So I'm thinking, because I think Solo should be the one to bleed on the heel side, especially because he's got that blonde hair. That'd look real nice. And I'm I kind of got the vision of the OGs win, that they pin Tonga lower or something like that. They don't pin Jacob, they don't pin Bronson, and they don't pin Solo. So they pin one of the Gorillas, Destiny. But Solo escapes the cage, clutching the Ulafala, kind of like Flair would back in the day, blood streaming down his face, but still hanging on to the the world's title, and
Or
because
like solo Ric Flair is a good comparison. He's doing it often.
yes, because you've got to get to the Roman Solo one-on-one match where Roman finally takes the Ulafala back.
Yeah, that isn't happening here. They're definitely doing that match, 100%.
Yeah.
This is very interesting because the Punk things, it feels weird for them to just like win and Punk just to like be a good team. You know what I'm saying? This is interesting. Punk makes this so much more dynamic, I think.
I guess if you wanted the OGs to lose, you could do the thing, but I don't know. I don't think this was necessarily turn Punk heel. You could have Roman trying to pull his boss shit and Punk not having it, and Punk just leaves, and that is a disqualification or whatever, a forfeit. That's a forfeit in the WWE rules, which I really like. And so that loses the match.
I think there's something to be said for Punk like not taking Roman's shit and Roman having to like learn from that, and like these other guys are they've let him go over this for too long. I don't know. Very, very interesting. The finish of this is intriguing, and I think the way they've told the Roman return is like it's quirky in that it feels kind of incomplete in a way that you can convince yourself there's a reason for that, and like he's gonna have to grow as a character, or it could just be like this is just what he's gonna be. Like I have no idea which one of those it is. He's obviously gonna work with Jacob at some point. He's gonna work with Solo, so like there's a lot of stuff to fit in if he's also gonna work with Punk. I don't think they know yet if he's working with Punk. I think there's a lot of stuff up in the air. Very, very interesting. And this is why it's the lead attraction, right? We cannot, it's not a surefire hit, but it's interesting. And they've put a lot of TV time in. There's a lot of different factors. So we shall see. Trust the Process Super Chat says, imagine someone telling you 6 months ago, that Bronson Reed would be main eventing a Big Four with the Bloodline and Punk. Truly incredible what they've made of Reed. All it took was spamming 2 nights. It has been. He's one of the big triumphs of their booking. Seemed like it happened overnight, to be honest. But good for him, dude. I mean, he seems like a very nice fella and talented guy who I felt like really struggled to like get anything out of his talent for a long time. And he's doing it now, and he's honestly doing it while simplifying a lot of what he did. He used to do a lot more for less results, and now he hits his finish and the people go nuts. Like, there's a lesson in that, I think, for the big men out there. So, I'm with you completely. Thank you for the super chat, and shout out to Big Bron Reed. What is Paul's favourite to Punk? We should talk about this before we get out of here. We have one last message from Colton, but let's do this quickly. What do we think that is? Is that something with Gunther? Is that something with Roman? Do we have any strong opinions? Because, I mean, it's hard to guess, obviously. It's just been brought up. Anything on this?
Yeah, I think it's too soon to tell, but I would imagine it's something. I imagine it's something that's going to come at an inconvenience to Roman at some point.
Yeah.
Whether that's directly in a one-on-one match between Punk and Roman, or something that pulls Punk away from Roman when Roman might need him.
Yeah.
I think they do know what it is, Colt, but I just don't think they're ready to.
They might have and they have an idea of this particular thing. I definitely think there's some different elements at play here where I think Punk wants this to be like the match.
Yeah.
And I think Punk's main interest here is to convince the wrestling world that this is the big match, Punk and Roman. And that's what he wants to do. We'll see if Roman's on board. I think there's a lot of there's a strong argument to be made that this is like one of the bigger matches they can make. So we'll see. I think Paulie's favor may overlap with that some, but time will tell. It's going to be very, very interesting. Cole said, Cole's been a member for 3 months. Thank you very much, Cole. I appreciate it. Boom, boom, things of that nature. Hope you've enjoyed LNG Gold. He says, I don't see a turn happening, but the big moments with Solo or Jacob pinning Roman, Big Dwayne coming out to close show. We haven't even discussed really, is Dwayne going to do the countdown thing? He did 3 last time, didn't he? So I think the idea is he's going to do 2, and then 1 will be Saturday Night's main event, and then Netflix is it's like a countdown, apparently. So, imagine Punk and Roman are arguing in the middle of the ring after they fucked it up, and Dwayne's music hits, and it's like what happened at Bad Blood, but this takes Punk in there, and he's just kind of overseeing this like Batman.
I don't think we're getting Dwayne here.
Maybe not. Maybe not.
Only because it's
There's
becoming
fingers to count. Fingers to count.
It's because as unfathomable as it is to me, because of how I still can't get over the that they would attempt to derail Cody's arc for the Roman Rock match, and then the following year not even do it. But it's certainly looking, especially if they do the flip flop of the title with Cody and KO. And KO wins at Saturday Night's Main Event. Cody wins it back at Rumble. It certainly looks like Cody Rock is the WrestleMania match. So there's really no need right now. Like Rock coming out at Bad Blood, that was for Cody. That was not for Roman.
Yeah.
He has to count, though. This is the problem, you see. If he doesn't count tomorrow, he still has 2 fingers left. Bob, you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like Chris is talking storytelling, I'm talking mathematics. I think it's an issue. Bob, what do you think?
Yeah, no, I mean, he does have the 2 fingers left. Now, you got to keep that in mind. I also think, the new Bloodline thing doesn't really pay off like it should if he doesn't come back and get involved at some point. So, he's got to kind of be involved in that, too.
There's a lot going on here, isn't there?
There is. It's kind of fun.
Yeah, maybe. Sarah,
yeah, I know.
See what the conclusion is. I think a lot of these questions feel like great questions to ask because they don't know the answers. I'm not sure that's the case with the Paul Lee Punk one, but I think there are absolutely people in creative that are terrified of what Dwayne will have in his brain by the time he returns.
Oh, yeah.
I'm convinced he's going to turn up and say, I'm working Jey Uso. Yeet. Telling you, I'm convinced.
Jack Crosby will.
Yeah. Telling you, dude. He's going to show up. He's going to tell him he was watching a Jimmy Uso match or something. It's because something crazy is going to happen. We'll see. So thank you to Colt for that. I hope you've enjoyed Gold thus far, brother. Happy 3 months. Jumanji Hunter, final one here. Super Chat need a Punk Rock stare down. Could you imagine in 2024?
Do you
insane
remember,
we're here, dude.
Do you remember at that insane press conference that
yes.
when Punk was there and he's talking shit and Dwayne was still on stage and he looked back at Punk because Punk's mic was on, for the whole
I would love, they don't need to wrestle a singles match because God Almighty, I imagine what it would look like, but if they could do an all-star trio or something where they're both in it, that would be fun, right? If they were on opposite sides of Saturday Night's Main Event in, fucking, Punk and the Usos versus Dwayne and G.O.D. The sickest 2 1/4 ever. Let's fucking go. Thank you, Jumanji Hunter, for the super chat. All right, there it is, folks. The Survivor Series. Very, very excited for the Grin Along tomorrow. Should be a fun time. Live LNG Gold, Grinner Circle members, and Grinner Gold members, of course. Let's do some plugs. Let's get on out of here. Oracle, you sound very poorly, so feel free to, you don't have to do the full run.
Yeah, it's honestly, legitimately, it's cold now, and when I run my heat, it makes me congested.
Do you have anything you want to plug, mate, before you go out?
Yes, tomorrow, the Survivor Series watch along, the Survivor Series WarGames 2024 watch along. Well, Joe will be there. Brainbuster, I think, will be there. That is at 6 p.m. Eastern time tomorrow. Not 4 p.m. Eastern. Do not come early. Joe will not be there to watch Jackie Redmond.
I'm watching Collision and away from the show.
Michael Cole.
Yeah.
But 6 p.m. tomorrow Eastern time, 6 p.m. Eastern, Survivor Series 2024 War Games. Watch along, grin along.
Yes, sir.
For Late Night Gold members. And then we have a loaded December, folks. A loaded December.
Certainly do.
All sorts of goodies, all sorts of things. Grin Grappler, Paul Heyman. We will have a Grindication.
Mm-hmm.
We will have the final Obscurities of the Ruthless Aggression School of Wrestling before next year in January. A new series of School of Wrestling will begin, but the last one, the main events of Ruthless Aggression, will be in December. all sorts of things. A Christmas special. I mean, all sorts of things are coming through. I mean, it's wild.
This is a crazy time, bro. Crazy time to be a grinner. Absolutely. Tremendous stuff. Chris Bourdon, what's the latest with music and moonsaults, bro? Go for it.
The latest is I don't know what's going on with music and moonsaults. Things have been crazy this month. Matt asked to step away indefinitely, so with no Christmas Wrestling Pod for the foreseeable future. And I haven't been able to record any bass covers because anytime I've been here, had where I would normally have time to record them, I've been with a sick kid, so that doesn't usually work. So yeah, I'm not quite sure. So yeah, but hopefully I can get back to posting things soon. So
well, either way, great to have you on tonight as always, brother. And support Chris, follow him on the Twitter gimmick, all those good things. Blue Sky, in fact.
Yes,
Blue Sky. Too. Yeah. Bobby, anything you'd like to plug, mate?
Join Joe and Brainbuster and whoever for the Grin Along tomorrow night for Survivor Series. Join us Sunday night at what time are we going, Joe?
Probably 7 Eastern. Probably
Sunday night at 7 Eastern to watch Armageddon 2000 with me and Joe and Ibu and Brainbuster and whoever else. All the stuff Oracle said for December, and whatever else comes up, and also support the Michigan Wolverines tomorrow against the Ohio State Buckeyes because they're going to need it.
Beautiful.
Go Gamecocks.
This is the wrong show to say this, but I'm kind of just slowly getting out there. There will be a Fleet 50 this year. Oracle mentioned the Alt 50 earlier. Shout out to those guys. But start preparing those ballots, folks. I mean, obviously, this is a WWE show, but start getting them ready when the new year starts. We'll get to that. Oh, and announcement. Next Friday's Grin was a blank slate show. It's no longer. We are going to celebrate Caden Lee's upcoming graduation because he is going to be the latest subject of the bracket shows that we do, where someone produces their bracket of favorite wrestlers. We don't have a name for it yet. I would like for people to comment below a good name for the bracket of Caden Lee's favorite wrestlers. Caden's Carnage, or I don't fucking know, man. Do some alliteration. I'm a big alliteration guy. Do that. We're going to put together a lineup of experts to go through the bracket and come up with who is the greatest wrestler of Caden Lee's favorites. Bob, of course, famously had Ric Flair, which he was thrilled with the result of that. But that'll be next Friday. Friday after that, Starcade 89 Grin Along. Friday after that, something with the final battle. This is an incredible name. Who are the semifinals? Okay, so either way, lots coming up, as mentioned. And we appreciate you guys. Please like the video. Once we're done here, leave some comments below. If it is a Caden Lee pitch or just something about the show, whatever it may be, comment, help us out. With that, if you want to watch Survivor Series with us tomorrow, LNG Gold. But most importantly, more than any of that, keep grinning. All how enjoy this outro, folks. Have a wonderful Friday evening. Enjoy the weekend. Goodbye.